It's never ending, Lark. Like the cream soda just keeps coming. The bottle just never runs dry.
It's been a long run.
You just... All right, good game.
Yep.
Yeah, that was good. Hailing frequencies are open. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Shield of Tomorrow. It's Wednesday night. It's time to play some Star Trek. I'm super excited because this is the game after Gen Con, and Amy has returned to us. Yay, from the mystical land of Gen Con. And what are you holding there, Amy? Something I've been hungering for so long. For so long.
They're real.
I'm not gonna lie.
I want you to touch it.
The only reason why I pitched this show to GNS was because I was like, I wanted free copies of this damn book. So this will be the last episode of Shield of Tomorrow. Now that I've got them, I'm out of here. I'll see y'all later. I'm out.
I met the wonderful folks over at Modifius and got this, the official crew copy of our book. And as you will see, it contains the map and all of our beautiful and oh wait.
What?
This one's Hector's.
What?
I've got the wrong book.
Wait, what?
Wait. Oh my
How
god.
can you tell
And,
it's mine?
Oh, this one's Eliza.
Oh shit.
Hounding people for this. Oh my god.
And Sam.
They're signed.
They're signed.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Wow.
Christopher, Sam Webb, and Joe, I think. Jim Johnson. Admiral Eric?
Oh, that's that. I know that. I can give it to him.
So fancy.
I can give it to him. Thank you.
Good.
Oh, yes.
Best message in mine.
I knew I loved you before I met you.
And this is okay. So Gen Con's a crazy time, and sometimes weird things happen, and they may have signed them out of order. So please enjoy your special edition that got signed.
Hell, you've ruined our game.
That's
man.
a different cover.
They do watch
Look
the
at
show.
that.
Yeah,
That's
no,
amazing.
they do.
That's amazing.
That. What?
What? Oh, that's the limited edition cover.
There's a limited edition one.
You got the limited edition cover?
I mean, what?
There may have been a slight rearrangement as they were signing them. That it's Bonnie's now. I think it was Eric's.
All right, Eric. You know what? I'll tear out the pages.
I was gonna say, you want to rip the pages out? We'll just trade pages.
Will you read your messages?
I did. And I'm definitely gonna keep
These are
dancing.
the best messages.
Oh, it says here, hey Eric, we gave it to Bunny, ha ha ha, kiss my ass, all the way from the UK.
So they have
Wow.
them for all of us and Rick and Nick, and they made me swear to keep it a surprise. And
Thank you guys so much for
This
this.
is great.
Yeah. Oh.
Starfleet needs a new crew, and you
I'm
rocked
sorry.
it.
Do I have the limited
Thanks,
edition
guys.
one? I'm sorry.
Are
I'm
you sorry,
Eric.
Bunny?
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Are you sorry?
No.
It'd be a shame
I'm
if
not.
some cream soda spilled on that.
I know. Be a shame if something happened to that squire.
Got your back,
thank
Lark.
you to the fine folks at Modifius, Chris and Sam and
I'll
Judge.
make my own bookmarks.
Wow.
Okay.
Guys,
Thank you for bringing those back, Amy.
Guys, Sam from Modifius signed mine. Hector, don't pull too much of a Kirk. No promises, buddy.
Really good son.
This is
Sam
great.
said, on mine, from one Sam to another, I'm excited too.
Damn, that's
That's
good.
a great one. That's great.
Well played.
This is
Well played, Sam.
wonderful.
I have been told to keep up the human comedy classes. I will consider this suggestion. Thank you for that suggestion.
That's just good advice.
Take it under advisement.
Just in general.
And Chris said,
Flawless pursuit.
I'm a publisher, not a doctor. Thanks so much for the help.
Guys are
This
funny.
is great.
They're funny.
Comedy.
Yeah.
They're British, so
That explains it.
they
super.
they understand
Compliment
comedy
how humor
innately
is.
in ways that we Americans never will.
I love British
Oh,
humor.
that attitude.
I should just move.
I do too. How do you like that book, Bonnie?
It's awesome.
I love British humor. All right.
This is great. Thanks, guys. I know it was on purpose.
Yay! I'm so excited to finally have these. This is really rad. Real quick, because we gotta move on. Real quick, I just want to give, since we're talking about game materials and supplements that we're getting tonight, I wanted to give a huge damn shout out to Spiky, who created a Shield of Tomorrow. I got this Game Master screen cover ages ago. And today I finally was able to put one together, and it's rad. And I got my Mike. Hi, Mike. And So yeah, it's pretty rad. So thank you, Spiky, for creating this rad, wicked, and other words that mean things that are great GM screen. This is pretty gnarly. So that's another shout out. Also, as always, thank you to Anovos. I just got to keep shouting it out because every time I put this thing on, I'm just like, damn. Love this thing. I'm really excited to see if Anovos gets to do the new Discovery uniforms, because you guys remember when we were at the Star Trek convention, I was drooling over the medical uniform. I love the med uniform. It's so good.
Uniforms are really beautiful.
Yeah.
Great.
And we got to see those things up close, and those were some... and I know it's controversial to say this, because I know there's a lot of people out there that feel very passionately about Klingons. You're talking to a guy who choked up in front of Robert O'Reilly at the convention. And I'm actually, after getting an up-close look at some of the Klingon stuff, I'm liking it. I'm really interested in it. I actually dig
I
it.
would totally beat up those Klingons with those weapons.
So thank you again, Spiky. I'm supposed to, it says here I'm supposed to thank Modiphius, doubly so. But I also want to give a shout out to Modiphius because they've been having a hell of a year. Not only is Star Trek doing great, and their Fallout miniatures are beautiful, and the Star Trek miniatures are beautiful, but they swept Gen Con. Like, they put out a game called Tales from the Loop, which just dominated it at the awards ceremony, and there were so many amazing RPGs this year. And Tales from the Loop, if you guys have heard of it, it's basically the way
The cool art that's like...
Simon stuff.
Yeah, and it's been described. I think it may have been actually Geek and Sundry that described it as, if I remember correctly, it may have been Geek and Sundry, but it's been described as Stranger Things meets E.T.
Oh,
So
that sounds good. I've heard about
it takes place in the 80s. It's a really rad RPG. I'm just now I got my copy. Thank you, Sax.
I have a friend who's running it. I'm gonna play it.
So
just-
congratulations, Modiphius, because you guys, I'd never heard of this company before January, and now it's like they're conquering the world. So well done.
Thank you.
And they were super cool. Also, real quick, and I know announcements are going a little long tonight because we're super excited about our books. I wanted to give everyone a heads up. The people at Star Trek Online, they are doing their own, inspired by us, they're doing their own stream now, and they're doing it before Shielded Tomorrow. So, yeah, they did their first game session today. They're live streaming their RPG. The devs are live streaming their own Star Trek adventures. So yeah, I didn't get a chance to see it because I was doing the development stuff today, but like I was really hoping to watch it, so I'm gonna have to tune in. But check out their Twitter account because they got more information. And on that note, we are having another giveaway tonight, so we're giving away some more codes for Star Trek Online. So stay active when we go on break tonight, and we're going to be giving out some more giveaway codes. I think, I should have checked with Sax on this, but I think we have more Geordie LaForge codes to give out. We may have used them up during the live stream, but we definitely have more packs to give out. But we'll just stay tuned and we'll get those codes out to you guys. And in closing, Lasers and Feelings is the name of the game that Sax will be running next week, next Wednesday.
Writing it down.
Yep.
He's
Lasers and feelings.
He's taking over the game next Wednesday because I'm going to be gone into the far reaches of I don't know what.
So I have a question. Then does that mean that tonight is a one-off?
Possibly. We'll see.
Multiple-parter, or we don't know. We shouldn't know.
Possibly, we don't know.
Okay.
We'll see. It might be. It might not be. I'm gonna let you guys. We'll see how this goes.
Listen to some double clicks in preparation for next week.
Yeah.
And congratulate them because
And congratulate
the new
to Double
album
Clips
is
because they're on the
Billboard
billboards.
chart.
They're all over the billboards. It's the #1 comedy album right now, aren't they?
I love the double clicks. Yeah.
Wait, who? What?
The Double Clicks is the #1 comedy album right now.
The game we're playing next week is named after one of their songs, and they're also super rad people.
Yeah.
And
I mean, that's what
their
you've
new
made it
album.
as musicians, right?
Yeah.
When a game system's named after you? Like,
So-
that's my standard of success. I don't know about y'all.
So yeah, I'll be gone next week because I promised because Matt and Marisha are dragging me to Burning Man, so we'll see. So God help me.
So reluctant.
Cry us a river.
It's scary. I'm an introvert and I'm going to Burning Man. It's kind of. All right, so that'll be it for our announcements tonight. I think we finally got through that. Unless anybody else has any announcements they want to get out real quick.
I'll be really quick.
Yeah.
Anyone in Hawaii this weekend? I will be in Hawaii for Amazing Hawaii Comic-Con, and we're doing a concert the Friday night and performing Saturday and all the things. And for anyone following me on social media, yes, I was in a car accident. Yes, I am fine. I'm sore, but I'm stroking my book and I feel better already. And now all of my senses are on red alert. So bring it, Eric. I'm ready to fly this ship Let's go.
I will be super quick, I promise, because I already tweeted them out. I'm prepared tonight.
Do it.
First announcement is that on Sunday we have our one of our last two Star Trek: The Improvised Generation shows. We're just go to the tweet. It says all the things.
One of the last two?
One of the last two for this little mini season we're doing.
Oh, okay.
So, and I'm in both shows. So
Is this the lost episodes?
Yeah, the lost episodes. And then, so go to my Twitter. I already
Great
tweeted
show.
the info for that.
Such a
He's
great
seen
show.
it.
Go see it.
And then the other one is that I drove up to just south of Oregon with some friends on a road trip to see how far we could get to totality for the eclipse. And we decided to make a web series out of it. And we made this
Like you do.
micro pop-up web series that was literally conceived of, shot on location, edited, and released all within 24 hours. We have 9 episodes. We posted it already. We have a Facebook page, and that's it. It's a weird bit that turned into a full
What's the
season.
name of the web series?
It's
Might
called
as well.
Eclipse, the web series.
Eclipse,
And it's
the
the,
web
most
series.
fun thing
Great.
besides this
Inspired.
and like my job. It's like one of the most fun creative things I've done
That's awesome.
lately. So yeah, just check it out. It's so
like Ann
dumb.
Bogart says, work with what
Guys,
you got
it's
right
so
now.
freaking dumb, but sometimes like
No, that's
with
perfect.
everything in the world
Have
right
you
now.
seen Signal Boost? Like,
Yes, I've done Signal Boost.
oh, I feel like you may have known that.
Serious stuff, Eric. Serious stuff.
Go watch our Signal Boost too.
Yeah, watch our Signal Boost
I know I've
episodes.
seen yours. You did one. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
Anybody else have an announcement before we? No, we're gonna move on.
I just love my book.
Oh yes, Sam.
I'm excited.
There it is.
Ah,
There it is.
there it is. That,
Can't
now it
start
feels
without-
right.
Without that announcement.
Okay. Now we're gonna jump into the episode of
Literally.
Shield of Tomorrow.
Oh, good.
All right. Let's jump into tonight's episode of Shield of Tomorrow. This episode is titled Zazrit.
Spelling on that, Eric.
Zazrit. Oh, you're gonna write down this episode's name?
Oh yeah, I was doing.
Sally Ride. What's that?
Z-A-Z.
Yeah.
Z-A-Z. Oh, you were waiting for the spelling.
Yeah,
Apologies. Z-A-Z-R-I-T.
Yeah.
Zazrit. Yeah, that makes sense.
Zazrit.
See, now I know what it says.
The USS Sally Ride.
USS Sally Ride is things have been going pretty smoothly for you guys since your last curious encounter with the Cardassians and a Klingon intelligence officer. It wasn't long after the events of last episode took place when Dr. Shasiros returned to the Sally Ride to learn of the extraordinary little adventure that they went on. Real quick, out of character. Did you get a chance to watch the last week's episode? Oh my God, Amy, just get out.
Turns out you can't stream anything on planes. I'm so
Yeah,
sorry.
Zach's
I'm
cued
really
me in on
excited
that.
to watch it.
That's okay. That's cool. I can give you last week on Shield of Tomorrow. So, curiously enough, the Sally Ride found itself entangled in a web of intrigue when a Klingon intelligence officer was rescued from a partially destroyed Brel bird of prey that was floating deep within Federation space. It was revealed by this Klingon operative that he was Klingon intelligence and that he was here to broker a secret deal between the Federation, the Klingons, and the Cardassian government, in a hope that they could find a way to a ceasefire between the Cardassians and the Klingons, and to reestablish some kind of peaceful relationship with the Klingons and the Federation. But the central goal was to facilitate a ceasefire between the Cardassians and the Klingons. That was the first priority, because that's obviously the most pressing issue at the time. Unfortunately, things apparently didn't go well for this Brel bird of prey on this mission, because as the Cardassians arrived, apparently they opened fire and obliterated the Brel bird of prey, but not before getting heavily damaged in the process. You were able to follow the trail and locate this Galor-class Cardassian vessel to a nearby nebula. After, of course, discovering that a Federation ambassador was on board and had been taken captive. A lot of questions were kind of left unanswered. A lot of really interesting things came up. Rue actually had a really good point and posed it to the captain. Never really got addressed again or asked again. But it is a little strange that a secret ops was taking place at this particular time in this particular system, and the Sally Ride just happened to be there, yet none of you were informed about this mission at all. Hector, Martinez is not... You're not a stranger to not being told things by Starfleet Command. Yes. And that's standard issue. Mm-hmm. It's a need-to-know thing, especially when it comes to intelligence operations. There's a security risk. You get that.
Plausible deniability.
Definitely. And who knows who's listening and who knows what's going on, basically. It is strange that the Sally Ride found herself anywhere in the vicinity of some kind of secret meeting that was taking place.
You're telling me.
Yes.
Nash apparently knew about this, and the Admiral asked the Sally Ride, basically ordered the Sally Ride to rescue the ambassador at all costs because of what it would cost the Federation if the ambassador was hauled back to Cardassia. Mm-hmm. What was also discovered in that process was that...
What, you're talking about Admiral
Nash.
Norval Nash?
Admiral Norval. I know. We should just see how many pencils.
Admiral Norval
It's like
Nash.
a graveyard.
What a piece of work that guy is.
That guy, man. He just with the thing and the way
Admiral.
he and does
I
that
don't know
stuff.
what you're talking about.
What was also discovered at the end of this mission was that these Cardassians were actually not representatives of the Cardassian civil government at all. In fact, they were a part of the previous government, the military government that is no longer in control of Cardassia. What their exact motives were isn't completely clear, but it seems like they were of the mind of hauling the ambassador back to Cardassia was going to be a huge blow to the alliance, or to the armistice between the Federation and Cardassia, especially because the Federation has been very good at helping. I mean, the big reason why the Kinmer Accords has been destroyed is because the Federation basically tipped the hat and told Cardassia the Klingons were coming. Mm-hmm. Then helped rescue the civilian government before Galron and his forces could arrive.
So you're saying that with this little secret meeting that went down, the Cardassians attempted to kidnap a Federation ambassador.
The Cardassians' previous government, so not the ones that the Federation has made nice with,
but the previous government to bring it back to Cardassia to go, look at how the Federation's trying to screw us over.
Yes,
sort of a thing. So that's why we needed to get that. That's the general idea.
Got it. The general idea was to bring this ambassador back would be able to basically cause a civil unrest against the government. You guys should never have abandoned us.
Yeah,
we were keeping Cardassia safe.
Yes.
That's kind of what the ploy was, and it may have done significant damage. In a time of chaos, though, it would have been bad for not just the Federation, but for Cardassia. But you guys managed to rescue the ambassador. It wasn't too much. Not too much time passed after the rescue, and he was medically treated by your nurse. Everybody remember the nurse's name?
Oh yes, I got it. Matosi.
Is it Matosi? I think it's Matazi.
Matazi. Okay, so I mispronounce things. Get over it.
Matazi, yes. Last episode, Amy, I introduced an NPC that works in the medical bay with you, named Matazi. Matazi is a 6.5-foot Cation with black fur and...
he was 7 feet tall.
Was he 7?
Yeah.
Oh my God, what happened to the other half foot? That's today's episode of Shield of Tomorrow.
Oh no.
The missing half foot of the Cation. So 7 foot tall, very large Cation. What's that? Oh, Sam. Oh, whenever you miss Darren DePaul and there's a bad pun get thrown in there, you're like, it's like channeling Darren.
Poorest of substitutes for Darren.
Anytime a bad pun is I'm just like, it's a tip of the hat to Darren DePaul.
You're the best.
But now the Sally Ride is actually once again engaging in her in her mission statement. You guys have once again found yourselves with some downtime. Things have gotten quiet again, but not in a boring way. You have found yourselves moving from system to system as some pretty spectacular celestial phenomenon have been taking place, and the Sally Ride has been accumulating massive quantities of data out here in this sector. No joke, Talon, this has been a very exciting couple of days for you. As excited as a Vulcan can get. While it may be some downtime, even Lark has kind of found a way to keep herself busy because there is a program running in the holodeck that constantly needs tweaking.
No, the Nazis are running just fine. They're getting punched real good.
No Nazis. Targs. Big Targ.
A hollow Targ.
A hollow Targ.
Yeah.
That sweet pup.
It's been a kind of welcome reprieve, and everyone's sort of fallen into a pattern, and Sally Ride, for the first time, really, since you have all set sail, has really started to feel, it's odd, but in the past few weeks, all of you have sort of started to realize that the ship has become home. That she's not just a ship that you sail upon in the stars, but one by one, you all begin to realize that she is as much part of the crew as you are.
How long have we been out? A little over a year?
A little over a year now. She's definitely, you've broken her in. Like the warp drive and everything, all the bugs have been worked out. Her maiden voyage was interesting. But, one. Right now, the Sally Ride is en route to the Halleck system, where you are all to witness an event that only occurs once every 2,300 years.
Ooh.
Whoa.
It is a ternary eclipse. 3 planets are going to align in a single eclipse. What you know from the Halleck system is all 3 of these planets are Class D planets, which means they have no atmosphere. They're not habitable. What's really fascinating about them is they technically do have the atmosphere. Let's just say that the atmosphere is so weak on these planets that it's been classified as D because of how thin and how weak the atmosphere is. What's up?
I just had a question. It's a ternary eclipse relative to what? Because it all has to be lined up like relative to a given angle, right?
Right.
Yeah,
So what I mean is there's 3 planets basically aligning in a single moment. So it's like it's
on the plane of the ecliptic.
Exactly. So it's a 3-time planetary alignment, essentially. All 3 of these planets, these Class D planets, are ice worlds. They're just big rocks of ice floating in space.
Very cool.
Orbiting a blue giant, the Halleck star.
Oh, they must be super far away.
Yep. Although Hallex 1 passes close enough to the blue giant that apparently the theory goes is that it passes close enough to the blue giant that you should be able to witness the vaporization of the entire surface layer of ice on the planet. Wow. So you don't know what you're going to see, but it should be spectacular. Halleck star is a blue giant. It's 75 times the radius of the Sol, 18 times the mass of Sol. It is 12,000 degrees Celsius on the surface, or 22,000 degrees Fahrenheit, which is roughly twice as hot as our sun. And it is 100,000 times brighter than Sol, luminosity of 100,000 times the brightness of Sol.
Incredibly unusual.
So definitely don't look directly at it.
Well, thankfully Sally can look at it, but yes, don't stand on the balcony of a government building in Washington and stare up at it.
Ooh, bird! Literally.
I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
In the words of Sam,
Shine.
I have no idea what you mean.
Sorry, I am just genuinely fascinated by this system. This is so cool in so many ways. Like, I'm super into it.
This is a really rare phenomenon, and Starfleet Research and Starfleet Command are really excited to send the Sally Ride because you guys, again, you're one of the first Intrepid class starships off the line. You were built to witness events like this, and they've been monitoring this and waiting for this day for the past 17 years. And so now that it's approaching, they're sending one of their best science vessels to basically study and witness this event take place.
Did you say
planets.
What's that?
Did you say every 223 years?
No, 2,300 years. This happens every 2,300 years.
Oh, amazing.
That's it's a long time.
We start our scene off with the morning staff briefing. Today's the day where you guys are going to be entering the Halleck system to witness the celestial event. But up until then, it's kind of like everyone, there's a lot of excitement especially in the science department. Talon, a lot of the scientists that work under you in the department the energy is palpable on Sally Ride. I mean, it's almost like, imagine what it must have been like when Hubble first launched and we started getting our first pictures of galaxies. It's kind of like that, like energy is bubbling all around, all over the decks. Like even people who aren't in the science departments are like talking about, what are we going to see? Like they're talking about having a crew event later tonight where they're actually going to bring up a lot of the scans and go back over the footage again and again. In the morning briefing, as you're all taking your seats at the table, Jiv sits down and says, well, what I've got to report is going to be pretty boring compared to what we're doing today. And he immediately takes up his notepad and pencil that Rue has laid out for everybody. And the bridge crew is gathered. If you don't have anything to report, you don't have to report anything, but this is a moment before the day begins where you can all kind of catch up with each other.
I have a question. Is Matazi still on board, or did he...
Matazi's still here. Matazi is a permanent member of your crew unless he's transferred off by your request. He is going to be Shashiros' permanent nurse.
Whoa. Okay.
Yep.
I am.
One by one, we're going to introduce our our Barcleys and our O'Briens.
And then look at their own episode at some point.
What was, real quick, can you remind me what Beverly Crusher's nurse's name was?
Oh, yes.
I keep getting her name wrong, but I thought she may have been my favorite supporting character on TNG next to Barclay. And
I'm sure somebody threw that in the chat.
Yeah, somebody threw it. I heard it in chat.
That checked.
I want to say Tokugawa, but that's wrong. That's dead wrong. I'm thinking of feudal Japan. But it's nurse. I don't know. We'll get to it. Not relevant right now. So yeah, morning briefing's begun. You see Jiv is making some notes before, probably trying to collect his thoughts like he normally does, so he just stays, so he keeps on task when he's reporting. He's learned in his time as chief engineer that Rue appreciates that. And not irritating the commander is the right way to start the day off. So.
Doctor, I didn't have a chance to catch up with you. How was the Starfleet Genetics Convention?
Oh, delightful. A lot less eventful than your last few days.
Well, anything to report? Anything interesting or?
Just some fantastic new therapies. But
great. It's great.
I would like to find out later after the event if you found anything that might be of interest.
Absolutely. We can have a meeting of the minds after we see this wonderful spectacle.
Yes. And as you all know, of course, the celestial event will happen today at
900 hours.
900 hours. So very soon. Actually.
I've got that note here. Oh yes, 900 hours.
900 hours. So in the
next hour or so.
In only about an hour from now, we will see the celestial conjunction of these three planets, these three ice worlds, and I would say let us all be prepared for this once-in-a-lifetime event.
Talon, am I sensing some excitement coming from you?
Excitement
Does
would be...
Does Talon have an announcement?
Oh, Talon now speaks in third person, apparently. Captain, I'm not sure what you are picking up on, but perhaps you are sensing that I am anticipating this very rare celestial event.
Okay, my mistake. Anticipating. That's different from being excited about something. You're anticipating.
Excitement would be an emotion that would not be useful to me in this time.
Right.
Jiv his hand is down, and he's doing this. And it's just, you see his shoulders shaking, but he's not making any noise.
Is something funny, Jiv?
I just got my beer just caught in my mouth. I'm all right.
Yeah, that happens from time to time.
I can't tell if that is a joke or not.
No, it's a Tellarite thing. Just go with it.
Finding something funny wouldn't be helpful to a Tellarite engineer, so that's why.
Not at all. We do not have a sense of
just
humor.
like that. Yep.
Actually, I do have something to report, Captain.
Go ahead.
Could be nothing.
Okay, great.
I know. Okay, that's a bad setup. I get that. But I just wanted to let you know that for the past 48 hours, we've been noticing an anomaly with the transporter system. We're not entirely sure what it is. I just wanted your permission to take the transporters offline. I don't need them both. Just transporter 2.
Okay.
Take it offline for about 30 minutes so we can run a level 2 diagnostic on it.
What do you think it might be? What kind of
or level 3 diagnostic.
an anomaly? Anything dangerous?
Nothing dangerous. It's just I've noticed that a few times we've beamed some things to and fro, particularly equipment. Mm-hmm. I've noticed some... It's just a gut instinct.
Okay.
When things transport, it's a very precise.
Say no more. I get it. When you become familiar with an OS, you know if there's something a little off with that OS, just because you're familiar with it. I got it. All right, sure, yeah. You have my permission. Keep me updated. Keep me posted.
Yes, sir.
It's something like stellar winds from a star this size. It could well affect
Could be
that system or multiple systems.
Have you guys...
Jib nods and says, that's actually entirely a possibility, yeah.
Okay.
Could be nothing. Could
Take
just
that
be
into
something.
consideration for whatever test you're running.
Sure
See
thing.
if that might be what it is.
Now, I'd hate to see shields go down if this is a radiation concern.
Me too.
Lieutenant Commander Jib, if you need an extra hand, as long as I don't miss the eclipse, I'd be more than happy to help. Sally Ride will pretty much fly herself there on her own.
Not nearly as well as with you at the helm.
Oh, well.
I got my team, but you know what? If you want me to start thinking about you, maybe like when you're not on helms duty, if you want to do some engineering work, if the captain and if Rue's okay with that, the commander doesn't mind, then yeah, absolutely. We'd totally take care. I know well you got a thumb for engineering, so.
It's a fun little passion of mine, so if ever I can help, little extra hand, I don't mind.
We'll never turn down extra work. Hand for the extra work.
Make a note of that.
All right, well, is that it for the morning announcements?
There's a general just like look as everyone's kind of checking to see if anyone else has anything to say.
Well, I think then I'll take this opportunity to say that as your captain, I am proud to be on this ship with this group of people, whether they're passionate, excited, or anticipating this incredibly monumentous event, and I can't wait to see it. And I'm so excited that despite everything that we've seen, all of our different peoples, everything that we've seen, the universe still has things that we have not seen, things that we have no idea anything about. So I'm incredibly excited. So thank you.
All right.
Great.
There's an earth food I think I want for this. Popcorn.
We can get you some of that, yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, that would be very appropriate. You know what you might like,
It's
Jiv?
a custom for watching.
That's true. For watching something. If we can get some little chocolate earth shell candies and kind of sprinkle them in there, that might be the way to go for you, Jiv. I've heard that Tellarites are partial to chocolate. Or was that Vulcans? I don't know if that was...
Chocolate, as long as it is very bland chocolate.
Okay.
Vulcans do not like much flavor. We cannot tolerate much spice.
You got it.
Jib just kind of.
It's usually not spicy. It's like a sweet
I'll talk to
usually not.
Santiago, see what we can do about the
A
popcorn.
little butter, a little salt, and chocolate-covered gummy bears is more of my jam, but...
There we go. All right, well, then I guess let's get some snacks, and then we're going to report to the viewing area. Is that what's next on the docket?
Yeah.
We have set aside a viewing area for all non-sciences staff.
Fantastic.
Would you like to keep any senior officers on the bridge, sir?
You don't mind, I'll stay on the bridge unless you need me in engineering. I'd like to watch this thing.
No. Yeah, let's have senior staff on the bridge. That sounds great.
All right.
All right. As you're calling into the morning briefing, Jiv looks up at you on the way out and just kind of looks up at you, Lark, and says, "Isn't a bear like a violent animal on Earth?"
Oh, yes, there's a candy version that's made out of gummy, like a... It's kind of hard to explain. I'm I'm not very good at the whole. It's a chewy little bear.
Okay.
Covered in chocolate.
Sure. Yeah.
Chocolate covered gummy bears. Gummy bears.
Okay. Okay. Sorry.
That's fine. You should try some. I could probably get the replicator
Do you
to
kill
whip
it
some.
before you eat
No,
it?
it's not an actual bear. It's made out of a gelatin, sugary candy.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not an actual bear.
Okay. Sorry.
Sorry, I should have
No, it's all right.
clarified.
I don't.
It's an Earth thing.
He looks over and just Earth culture is boring as hell to me. Just to be honest with you, just
There's some
don't
fun
tell the
stuff
captain.
though. We can go past all of the boring stuff, and I'll just give you some of the highlights.
All right.
Chocolate covered gummy bears, cream soda. It's a top 2.
Right. Cream soda. Yeah, that's next on the list. We'll go ahead and cut to the bridge. You guys find yourselves in the Halleck system, a good distance away, but with a beautiful view. And sure enough, there are 3 large Class D planets that are slowly coming into alignment. With where the Sally Ride is currently positioned, you guys will be in the shadow of all 3 planets when they move into alignment in front of the blue giant. So it will essentially be an eclipse from where you all are going to be on station. Yes, this is an eclipse episode because, damn it, it was cool, okay? It was rad. I got to watch it. It was really cool. So the bridge kind of falls into a hush as the shadow begins to creep up over the Sally Ride. And if we were able to look at an external view of the Sally Ride's hull, you'd be watching a shadow pass over that saucer section right over the words Sally Ride and NCC, and it goes into total darkness, only the windows lighting up, showing that there's any signs of a ship with the blue nacelles glowing vibrantly in the dark. As the planets begin to come into alignment, you begin to see the vaporous outpouring in the distance. It's barely noticeable, and at first you think you're witnessing what looks like the corona of the sun behaving irregularly from this distance, but what it is an optical effect of gas and vapor escaping into space in great quantity. And it just gets bigger and bigger. And by the time you all are, before you're aware that everyone has been dead silent watching the phenomenon happen, it's about 5 minutes into the eclipse itself when the alignment happens. And as it does, you see not only is it this strange glow shadow kind of effect taking place because the planets are not all the same size. So you're watching what almost looks like this sort of a wave effect from these planets in front of you. And then a halo of white gas escaping, and it's illuminated by the blue light from this sun. What you witness can't really truly be captured with words, but it's a celestial event that leaves everyone stunned. It lasts for about 10 minutes, and sensors are working overtime, collecting the data. The whole thing is, the only noise you hear on the bridge is Jiv, who has an audible intake of breath as it's happening. And as the planets begin to finally break away, that vapor trail actually looks like it begins to coalesce in space, and ice begins to form off the planets and begins to sort of crystallize around. Talon, the theory is that a lot of these ice fragments are eventually going to form a ring pattern around the planet when a lot of them, which have escaped off, not Hallex 1 because of its proximity to the sun, but there's a very strong likelihood that the second planet from the sun, Hallex 2, is actually going to be the recipient of those ice rings. It'll probably take 30 years or so, but a collection of the vapor in space will eventually be captured by the gravitational pull, and it's going to be sucked along that orbital track. So for a while, this planet's going to look like a giant comet as it's kind of moving away. And eventually, Hallex 1 will pass beyond the corona reach of the sun and once again begin to crystallize. Wow. So you all watch this take place. And when the event is over, there's a general just sort of like gasp of joy on the bridge. Some of the ensigns lose their composure and are smiling at each other, and just there's this feeling of accomplishment and wonder. And Captain, you get an immediate impression that this moment in time for your crew, after everything you guys have been through, you have moments like this from time to time where it feels like you've been recharged, plugged back in, reminded why you're out here again and again. You stumble across these moments. This is a big moment for the crew. A really big moment.
Yeah, wow. I don't know what there is left to say, but I have a feeling we're all going to remember that for the rest of our lives. Wow.
Shiv is uncharacteristically quiet. And he's just still staring at the view screen with his mouth just hanging open. And like shaking his head. Talon, I need you to make a sensors check.
Oh no.
Oh no.
And now
unfortunately,
it won't be fun anymore.
The gateway to evil has now been opened. And
You know what happened.
sorry, this is actually a Fifth Element crossover. So as the thing So,
I didn't warm up my coloratura register. I'm not ready.
so Talon, go ahead and make your sensors roll. What is? No, you don't have a focus. Is actually going to come into play here, believe it or not. But I do need Sam. Do you want to roll for Sally? And the difficulty here is going to be 2.
All right, let's do the thing.
I was gonna say it was 3 ice planets. It was a trice.
Trice. Nice. It's like
I got nothing. That's all I could think of. I was like,
triceps.
trice, 3 ice, and I'm done.
The 2300.
2 successes.
Thing
Let's
is
see what Sally does.
3.
3?
Oh, we get a momentum.
Sally got 3 successes.
No,
No, that's
total.
not mathematically possible.
That's why I was like,
bumped it up
what? Okay, so 3 total successes. That's
one
what you're saying.
momentum.
Okay, so you gain a momentum.
Yay.
Talon, your eyes are drawn away from the view screen as you hear that alert sound that we're also familiar with, as the sensors are detecting an incoming vessel at long range.
Oh,
And glancing down, you see that there is in fact a very small vessel that's starting to come into range.
Captain, it appears that we have other Eclipse Watchers in our vicinity.
Is there a ship?
Yes, a small vessel.
Can't really get a read on it just yet from this distance.
Can we try to identify it? Is it Starfleet?
Can we try to identify it?
If you want to spend that momentum. Otherwise, you'll need to move close. Okay. It's up to you.
should we hold on to it? What if we need it?
Are we within hailing distance?
Yeah. Yeah, you can hail them.
Should we just hail them?
Yeah, if we can't get a reading on them, let's hail them.
Hailing.
Hailing frequencies are open.
Hailing frequencies are open, Captain.
Hello. Can you please identify yourself? This is Rafael Martinez of the USS Sally Ride.
Ride, you hear on the other end of the comm. I cannot believe I actually found you.
I'm sorry, who am I speaking with?
You know, this is going to sound strange, Captain, but I'd rather not say it over the comm. I'll just say that I'm in a shuttle that's power is failing, and if I could SOS my way onto your vessel, I'd be really appreciative.
We're gonna need a little more than that.
Well, if you want to get a little closer, I promise I don't bite, especially because life support's probably only got another hour left.
Okay. Sure, we are at your
Who wants to take a
disposal.
crack at an insight check, kids? I want to take a crack at an insight check, kids.
Sure.
Anybody else want to? Mine is really bad.
I would like to take. Can I take an insight check?
Sure. It's going to be.
What's the difficulty? My insight's actually pretty good.
Yeah, mine's pretty good too. If I can.
Honestly, it's going to be a success at a cost. So you're going to succeed no matter what.
Oh.
So I'm going to say the difficulty here is going to be, it's success at a cost. So go ahead and roll. And this is just to find out. This will be your opportunity to gain momentum, but you could gain threat as well.
Do you want me to do an insight check as well?
I'm gonna take a stab at it. I mean,
This is kind of an unusual way of using success at cost, but I want threat.
I did not roll complications.
That's good.
That's 2 successes.
So what is it you were trying to discern from his tone and whatnot? Is he trying to deceive you guys?
Yes.
No, your instinct listening to him just over the comm is that
We get momentum.
he sounds like a man who has surrendered to his fate and doesn't think, you kind of get the impression he doesn't think you guys are going to take him. In other words, you get the impression that he's aware of how ridiculous his ask is.
Right.
The not identifying thing, like.
Yeah. He seems, your impression is that he seems to sympathize with you, of being skeptical and not like not all that excited about helping him out with so little information. That's what you get from like listening to his tone and hearing his words. Your instinct tells you.
Well, I suppose we've got an hour to figure out who this guy is. Ensign, go ahead and put the shields up as we get closer.
Shields up, Captain. I'll turn hailing frequencies off, I guess. I'm assuming we're not talking to him anymore.
Correct,
Do you want me to get a little closer?
This is usually the signal.
Yeah, it's already off, Captain. I got the signal.
Got it.
Shields up, and I can move us closer to at least, so we can maybe at least do another scan and identify his vessel.
Okay.
All right, moving closer.
You move within visual range.
It's worth noting that we won't be able to beam them aboard necessarily if Jiv is correct about the state of the transporters. That means we'll have to dock if we want to get them on board with us.
And so we will have to move very close.
Indeed.
Jiv says, yeah, the diagnostic is complete down in Transporter Room 2, but we haven't actually run the results just yet. We could use 1, but I don't know if the same things that are affecting 2 are affecting 1.
How long until you get the results, Lieutenant Commander?
Probably in the next 20 minutes.
This is a genuine SOS, and my sense is that it is.
Well,
Then we don't necessarily have that kind of time, and we should just assume that the transporters will not be helpful.
Could we tractor beam the vessel into one of our cargo bays?
I mean, we'll be docking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I won't have you to roll, because as you get closer, you see it is, in fact, a shuttlecraft-sized vessel. So it would be incredibly easy to tractor beam if you wanted to. But you do note, as you enter visual range, just saving some time and assuming that you're turning on the view, you're getting a visual on this.
Yeah.
You do note it is an Orion shuttle. It looks heavily damaged, and it looks like it's got a small vapor trail coming out of one of the smaller nacelles. But it is an Orion shuttle. It looks very similar to the one you guys escaped from.
side note, do we still have that shuttle?
Yeah.
Our dump shuttle.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Sam made damn sure you guys kept the dump shuttle.
Absolutely.
A refresher from episode 0, of which you can check out the crew personal logs on the Geek and Sundry website. So.
Dump shuttle.
So, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like we've got an Orion shuttle in front of us, and we've got at least 20 minutes before we find out if our transporters are fixed or were never...
I can cut that time in half. And if you want me to go down there and report directly, sir. If time's of the essence, I can get down there right now.
Let's go ahead and do that.
Jiv gets up from his station and heads to the turbolift.
Because whether we're tractoring that shuttle aboard, sending a shuttle ourselves, or just beaming whatever passengers aboard, any of those could potentially be a trap if we're dealing with an Orion Raider. We don't know exactly what it is that we're dealing with, so...
Talon, did we get a number of life signs on that shuttle?
Oh, no, he's got an
That's what
engineering
I
team.
would like
You're good.
to do as well.
What's that?
Can we
Did we get life scans?
Scan
You
the
can
scan
scan
for
again.
life signs.
Yeah, you're within range. So Sally Ride, go ahead and make another scan. Difficulty's going to be 1 at this point.
Ooh, 2 crits.
For anybody who's asking why I usually call upon 2 scan rolls, I like to give the crew a chance to get momentum at the start of the game, and this is like a real fun way to do
I'm going
it.
to take a picture of it. Because it's
You got 2 crits?
2 1s.
Yeah.
That's perfect. I'm going to take a
Yeah.
picture.
Those
Last
beautiful
week, Amy, you
Starfleet-
missed it. Last week, she rolled double 20s, and then a few minutes later, I rolled double 20. So it was like,
It's so beautiful. 2 crits.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'll go
all
back.
right.
And then I got a success.
I'm not wearing jeans.
That's we're full up on momentum. Groovy.
Wait,
okay, so how many successes total?
what was the difficulty?
5
1.
on a 1 success.
So we
That
got
was,
one-
that was after Sally Ride factored in
So
her.
we have 4 momentum.
Okay, so you guys are stocked up.
All right. Woo, nice
All right.
rolling.
Well, we may have to use one of these momentums depending on what information we get right now. I want to know everything about this
You
guy.
wanted to know what life forms are aboard? There's
How
one.
many and- yeah.
There's 1 Orion on board that vessel.
Okay.
Okay.
Sense any explosives?
Yeah, that's a great. Is it armed?
There is a weapon on board. It looks like a disruptor. I'm gonna have you spin a momentum for this though.
Okay.
It looks like there is a small weapon, like a firearm on board, a disruptor. He probably has on his side or somewhere in the vessel.
Not unusual.
but there's no other weapons on board. Not energy weapons, anyway.
And with your studios, you get one more question. So can we maybe ascertain the nature of what caused their hull breach that they're leaking out now?
Excellent question.
Weapons
Excellent
fire.
question, Commander.
Weapons fire. So they were in a battle recently.
Looks like your instinct tells you that they probably were fleeing something and got shot up.
I mean, that kind of craft would not stay and fight, I'm guessing.
No.
So,
This is to get from A to B.
right.
Small, it can probably, it's low inertia. It can
Yeah.
run.
Kind of like our dump.
So
It probably it's one of the rare shuttlecrafts that it's one of those rare shuttlecrafts that actually has warp capability. Most shuttlecrafts, Federation has a fair amount of shuttles that have warp capability, but a lot of small craft like this, usually you have to be pretty rich to get a warp drive on board of a shuttle if you're not part of the Federation or another alien government. The Orion Crime Syndicate has its ways of getting things, as you know. This shuttle looks like it does have warp capability, probably maxed out at warp 1 from looking at it, but you don't know. It does have a nacelle that looks like it's been damaged.
Sir, I feel comfortable docking with this shuttle with one life form and one weapon. We have quite a security crew on a 152-person ship.
How are the shields in cargo bay? They're all
Force
standard,
fields
right?
will hold, certainly, yes.
Okay. All right, before we bring him aboard, I'd love to know more. So let's hail him again, Ensign.
Hailing Captain?
You are within range, so when you hail him, he receives the hail, and you see him come up on screen. It's a little staticked, but you see for lack of a better way of describing, a very handsome Orion male, well-muscled. He looks like he has a few of those peculiar Orion golden plates, maybe like decorative in the side of his head, deep green skin, light green eyes. He has an interesting scar that goes from it's not like a romantic looking scar, but it looks like he took some kind of vicious hit, starting from his jawline going down his throat, and it looks like it didn't heal quite right.
That's still pretty sexy.
For the most part, he's dressed out in a bunch of leathers, and he does kind of have this wry smile on his face when he pops up on the view screen and says, "Satisfied?"
And we don't recognize him from, okay.
You don't recognize him.
I just wanted to make sure.
He does not look like any Orion you've come across before.
Okay, I just wanted to
Yeah.
triple check.
Yeah. Does not look like any Orion you've seen before.
Good to know.
Well, Orions are known for satisfying people all across the galaxy, but I think you're going to have to try a little bit harder, sir.
He smiles and says, "All right, that's fair. What do you need?"
Just need a little bit more information. Just a heads up, we are going to be docking you aboard the USS Sally Ride,
I appreciate that.
helping with whatever repairs we can to your ship. That is
appreciate
assuming
that.
it is repairable.
I hope so.
Yeah, we hope so too. What happened?
Mutiny.
Mutiny caused by yourself?
No.
Mutiny caused by your crew?
Mutiny caused by my third in command, Captain.
Your third in command. And who am I speaking with?
Name's Zazrit.
Zazrit.
I've been looking for the Sally Ride. I heard y'all get around when it comes to celestial phenomenon and such. Thought you might be out here with this big show that's going on.
I remembered that you said that, Zazrit. Why was it that you're looking for us?
I have information about somebody I think might be of interest to you.
What kind of information?
The kind that the Federation would probably want to know, and the kind that you personally would probably really want to know.
Well, so far, Zazrit, doesn't sound like a bad way to spend the afternoon, but what I'd like to know is, what are you gonna get out of it?
It's a long story, but I'll be straight with you if you want that, yeah.
Please.
I want my ship back.
And if we're unable to help you in that regard?
Then I'm gonna miss having that ship. My crew's still on board that thing. Half my crew didn't mutiny, Captain. And right now they're probably locked up and getting ready to be sold off into the slave trade.
That is just too bad.
Yeah, I thought so.
It's a real shame. Real shame. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and bring your ship on board now.
I look forward to meeting you.
Great. Thank you.
I pressed it.
You pressed it.
I pressed the
You
button.
turned that view screen off.
I
We
don't-
hung up on you.
Click.
You didn't hang up on us,
He said,
Zazrit.
all
We hung
right,
up on
Captain.
you. You know what? Call him back and hang up on him. Call him back and hang up on him right now. Good.
Hailing
Good.
frequency's open.
Bye. Closed.
Not.
I'm having a flashback of Mass Effect 3. Well, let me know if you want to call the council so we can hang up on them again.
I think we can all infer who he might have information on.
Oh, yeah. Yes, our old friend Malgog, right?
Unless there's anything there's anything specific y'all want to do, we can cut to the scene. We
Yeah.
can cut to the cargo bay.
Yep.
Is that a different scene? So
Different
we lose
scene.
momentum? All right.
So subtract 1 momentum, and we will go to the cargo bay.
And is all the senior staff going to meet this guy?
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Well, Jiv, you, on the way down, you get a communication from Jiv going, Captain, diagnostics have come back. I was right about the transporter. Something's up.
Any ideas what it was?
It looks like the molecular coefficient of items that we are beaming to and from are being altered at the subatomic level by a 0.0008 phase variance. Essentially, Captain, it's enough that if something biological beams through it, it's enough that I wouldn't recommend it.
It's enough. That's
It's
right.
enough. I just wouldn't recommend. It's not unnecessarily dangerous, but I don't recommend it.
How do we fix it?
I got to figure out why it's happening.
Do you need more teams? We've got a lot of capable scientists aboard.
I just need my engineering team right now, Captain.
Okay.
But I can let you know.
You let me know if we need anything else. We can shift a lot of workforce to that if that needs to become more of a priority. Okay.
Thank you, Captain. I'll keep you posted.
you.
With your permission, I'm going to take Transporter 2 completely offline. We can leave one up for emergencies, and I can have an engineering crew up there running a diagnostic on that one right now.
Sounds good.
All right,
ahead.
Captain. I'll keep you posted.
Thank you.
About that point, you walk into the cargo bay where you see 4 security officers awaiting as the door to this Orion shuttle, which is a strange looking craft. Of course, the hull itself is dark green. And it sort of has a Orion's kind of have. I recommend playing. I pull a lot of my inspiration for some of the way the Orion vessels look from Star Trek Online, because the ship design for Star Trek Online Orion vessels look rad. Their shuttle looks very much like a smaller version of some of their larger craft. It sort of has a spherical look to it and bulbous shapes at the front. It's doesn't look like it would fly too well in atmosphere, but it looks like it probably has a lot more power than your standard shuttle. Stepping off of it is clad in leather with like studs all over a leather vest that's tied tightly around. He is wearing by Earth standards, it's kind of like, whoa, what's this guy wearing? Like, he steps off basically wearing I would say it's almost like a leather girdle goes up to about his chest area right here, and then there's nothing over his pecs except for a leather strap that wraps around and then covers like leather sleeves that are going over. Okay. He's a Star Trek stripper. He basically walks off looking like he walked out of Chippendales from a sci-fi.
The last thing Starfleet is judgmental. Okay. That's not Starfleet.
Not judging.
But the way he steps off of
How
his...
tall is this guy?
He's about 6 feet.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
He's about just tipping 6 feet.
Okay.
A little over 5'11".
All right.
Just touching 6 foot. He steps down. The way he just sort of drops his weight and steps off the shuttle, he's got that little sort of like, you can tell this guy has an irritating either confidence or swagger to him. So just his body language is it's on blast when he steps out. And he swings around and he starts looking at his shuttle. And he doesn't even acknowledge you all as he walks in. Instead, he just puts his hand against the hull of his shuttle and he looks down at the nacelle and he just goes, "How the hell did I get away?"
Must have been dumb luck, Zazrit.
Dumb something. And he turns and looks back at you.
Hi,
Well-
Rafael Martinez.
Well, hello. He looks at all of you. Zazrit. I used to be Captain Zazrit.
Mind handing over the disruptor? You know the score.
He looks at the security crew and says, maybe maybe one of you should do it. And he turns around and you see it's tucked in behind him. Probably instinctually didn't want to reach behind his back to pull a gun, so he just turns around and lets one of the security officers immediately walks forward and just pulls it out.
Great.
It's a Klingon disruptor. Probably not his... It was probably not given to him, let's put it that way. And he turns back and lowers his hands.
Much obliged.
You'll get your weapon returned to you when we're done, obviously, and we'll begin repairs on your ship right away.
That's way more than I expected, Captain. Thank you.
Yeah. So let's talk about that information that you wanted to divulge, Zazrit.
You want to do it here?
Yeah. We'll do it right here.
All right. I guess I can't complain. You're going to repair my ship. I can't hold a grudge because you're not offering me tea, can I?
No, you can't.
Yeah, it's who you think it is. Malagog's been making a lot of moves in the Orion Syndicate lately, and he's been making a lot of enemies in the Orion Syndicate. You know, actually, Captain, no offense, but maybe we should talk about this in private. Not without your closest whatever you guys are, but I don't know if you want everyone to hear what I'm about to tell you.
All right, I understand. That's fine. Let's head over to my ready room.
All right.
Great.
We're going to keep this part of the same scene.
Okay.
Does that mean senior staff is also?
Yeah.
It's literally just dropping the four
security
Yeah,
guys.
we can just go back to basically where y'all had your morning staff briefing.
Good, because I want to hear this. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, no.
And just a real quick, what does that entail? Repairing his ship? How long is that going to take? What kind of personnel is on that? Like, is that
Jiv can get on that if you want to ask Jiv, and he can give you an estimate. Right now, he's in transporter room 2. But if you want to stick your chief engineer, and he can assign a team to it. But it looks like some disruptor hits on the side of this vessel. Some pretty intense damage.
Here's what I'm thinking.
Cursory health examination, but without my usual warmth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is he all right?
Is there any results from that?
He's in excellent physical health.
Okay. Okay,
that
we
was
get
obtained
it.
on visual examination.
We get it, Eric.
Yeah.
He's a good lay. We get it. Jeez.
I'm actually.
Okay.
If you guys can just keep playing, and I'm going to go spend a few moments with my NPC. Okay. I'll just be right back. How does that work? Okay, so
I'll get the
you guys.
gummies, you get the popcorn. We're just like.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
And then cut to me just going, how do I do that?
in terms
I guess I'm going to go back to running the game.
in terms of repairing his ship, I'm thinking I want to make it priority number 2 after priority number 1 fixing our transporters.
Sir, we have a large engineering staff,
Yeah.
and only so many people can repair a transporter at once. There are only so many things to repair.
Good.
We can multitask, and
Okay.
it's a worthwhile thing to be doing.
It is.
So let's do
Jiv
it.
can oversee that if you want, and he can
Great.
assign an engineering team to it.
All I'm saying is if we had to prioritize,
Oh,
this guy fixing his ship is number 2. That's
yeah.
all I'm saying.
Yeah, sure.
Great.
Sure. Cool.
That means that he is on our ship for as long as it takes to repair.
Potentially, yeah, that's fine. But it means we can keep our eye on him.
Yes, Lieutenant Commander.
For
So
longer.
on it does.
Just pointing that out.
Hashtag not a date.
Oh, this is going to be a
Hashtag
two-parter.
apparently always date.
This is going to be a two-parter.
Great.
So,
We're in our ready room. The captain's ready room.
yeah, we can go to the ready room. Sure. Okay, so entering into the ready room, the first thing he does is he walks in as he immediately begins to run his hand over the upholstery of the chairs. And you just he's just looking at it and kind of looking around. You clear your throat. He doesn't even look at you, Rue. He just keeps looking around like, you know, it's been a while since I've been on a ship that didn't have a metal grating to walk on. It's weird not hearing my feet. It's nice.
Zazrit, there's a replicator in the corner. You can help yourself to some tea or whatever you want to drink.
Yeah, tea. I like that. I've never had tea. Heard about that. Do you have one you recommend? He walks over to the replicator.
I'm not really an Earl Grey guy, but, you know, I like a nice green tea.
Green tea. I guess hot. I was expecting it to be green. And he moves over and says, smells good. Takes a seat. And he's like, all right, I'm not going to waste your time. What do you want to know?
What do you have to tell us?
That my crew has decided that Malgog could earn them more money doing things that I feel like we shouldn't be doing.
Was Malgog a part of your crew?
No. Malgog likes to consider himself a commodore these days. He's actually got about 6 ships working under his command. Well, 6 now. Was 5.
Is that something common in Orion culture? Commodores?
No. Usually in Orion culture, we don't make moves unless the Syndicate gives the okay. It's kind of complicated. It's more of there's mitigating circumstances to every action you take in the crime syndicate, Captain. Usually those mitigating circumstances depend on if you can do it, then it's yours. And as long as it doesn't as long as it doesn't contradict the interests of our illustrious masters.
So is he doing things that make your stomach turn, or is he doing things not in the interest of the masters? Why are you at odds with him?
Well, I'll answer all of that. First of all, yeah, he's doing some things that make my stomach turn. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a nice man, Captain. But I don't take pleasure out of killing people. And I certainly don't feel like getting involved in the things he's been getting involved in. Specifically, well, how do I put this? I understand you had an encounter with Zakdorn not too long ago.
Yeah, we did.
They had some things they shouldn't have had, Captain?
I think I'm getting your drift.
Yeah. Malgog's been pretty busy in this sector of space. Pretty busy.
All right, so exactly how long ago did your crew decide to give you the boot?
A few days, by my computer standards anyway.
And you've been in that shuttle for a few days?
Yeah, it has been fun. I'm used to sitting on a bridge. But to finish answering your questions, to be blunt, I think the Syndicate does just fine peddling what we peddle. But the moment you start dealing in weapons of mass destruction and death, well, not only is that just stupid and horrifying, but it's going to call down the ire of every government in the galaxy. Orions aren't stupid. We know damn well that biogenic weapons have been outlawed by interstellar law, and that the Romulans, the Klingons, and the Federation, even the Cardassians, have all signed that. If we get caught using it, I know what happens next. It's going to be harder to ignore the Orion crime syndicate.
Yeah, you bet your perky green ass it will.
He looks at you and cocks his head to the side and says, "They let you wear your uniform and talk like that?
Yeah.
Let me know if you retire."
No.
So you know things about Malgog. You know he's not a good guy. You have any actionable intelligence?
Just that if you want to find him, there's data on my ship that can point you in his direction.
Why isn't it on your shuttlecraft?
I didn't think he had the guts to do what he did.
Who, Malgog?
No, my
Third in command.
my third in command.
Yeah.
He's kind of spineless, to be blunt.
Clearly not.
Apparently not.
Where's your second?
My second? My second happens to be my best friend. Costs. He's probably in a prison right now. He's gonna fetch a fine price on the slave market. Fine price. I gotta get him back.
So, what you want from us is, in exchange for this information,
I want my ship. That's all I want.
you want your ship
Just
back.
want my ship.
And when you get your ship, we'll get actionable information on Capo Malgog. Is that correct?
Everything that I've seen of the data that's on board my vessel would say that the answer to that question is yes, but I'll tell you this much. If you're not satisfied with what you get, I'll make myself available to you in finding the son of a bitch and getting him. He's a threat to the Syndicate. And I don't like him.
Well, we're in agreement. We're on the same page, as we say on Earth.
Are you going to be willing to give up tactical information on your ship so that we can take it back for you?
Yeah, I'll give you the codes of the shields. I'll give you everything. I know that ship inside and out. I got 12 crew members that have taken over the ship, so it's not a big team.
Okay.
It's basically an armed freighter, but it's pretty well armed. But I guarantee you, once the shields go down, that'll probably change things up a bit. I have 15 crew that were loyal to me that got captured in an ambush. And trust me, if you can get cost-free, we'll be all right.
Where is your ship now?
I have no idea. Close?
All this and it's a goose chase?
It's not like they're checking in and letting me know where they ran off to with my ride.
Best guess?
Well, if I had to guess, I would say they're probably running for the neutral zone, or they're probably trying to get out of Federation space, or it's possible they've got a business contact. But I will say this, my ship is fast, but it's not faster than a Federation starship.
Not this one. Not with Sage driving. Sage, do you think you could plot a least time course out of Federation space from where Zazrit last saw his ship?
I can give you coordinates.
I could get us there pretty quickly. With the way his shuttle, with the repairs his shuttle needs, I don't think he got very far from where they were, so.
And you know the maximum speed of your vessel or the probable
Warp
speed
3.
they'd be taking?
She's not fast.
We can catch up to them very quickly,
Extrapolate where they are.
Captain.
I think we go for them.
So wait, your ship goes warp 3? That's
Yep.
fast as it goes? That's cute.
For no need
Yeah,
to
she's a bit of a tub, but I do love her.
All right, well, I'm going to get you the estimate of your repair time for your ship. And,
Mind if I get something to drink in a social environment around here? I hear you Federation types like to build bars on your ship. He kind of stretches.
you know, we're all booked up right now, unfortunately, Zazrit.
That's a shame.
It's a real shame, but I'm sure that you'll be comfortable on your ship. And if anything opens up, you'll be the first to know.
You want me to stay in my shuttle?
Yeah. Yeah.
He takes a sip of the tea and goes, shoves it aside and says, well, I'll be in my shuttle. He stands up.
Great. Thank you.
I'll need those coordinates first.
Sure. How would you like them?
Verbally's fine.
Sure.
I'm not blushing.
Instead of verbally, he walks over to the pad that's nearby, the notepad, and he just enters it while he's looking at you.
That works too. Thank you. Captain, with your permission, I'll go to the helm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Martinez to a security team. Report to ready room, please.
Oh, you know how to make a guy feel special, Captain.
I'd be happy to escort him back to his shuttle.
Sure. All right. Commander Rue here is going to escort you back to your lovely, spacious shuttle, where you can hear your feet. So.
Wow, I've spent 2 days in there. What's another day, right?
Yeah.
Wait, never mind.
Ensign, Sage, did you want to say something?
No, I was gonna do something, but I think Lark Sage is really bad at flirting, but she was gonna attempt it and it wasn't gonna go well.
She's young. She'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I was just gonna go to the replicator and get a cream soda and then just hand it to him since he didn't like the green tea and walk out. Since he didn't like
You
what he
said you were
drank.
gonna do that. Are you going to do that?
Yeah, now I am. I said it. Yeah, just because.
Okay.
That's the first time anyone's like openly flirted with Sage. I think she was just like, "What? Oh, he needs something to drink." I panicked.
Okay. So you all watch this sort of awkward spectacle as Lark is like, wait, and goes over, cream soda, bottle of cream.
Just try this. You'll probably like it better than the green tea.
I already like it better than the green tea.
Thank you for the coordinates, and then I leave. gonna go back to my helm.
That's sweet.
No, it is sweet. It has a lot of sugar in it. He'll like it.
I mean, he takes a sip of it as he walks.
Probably
He takes a good swig out of it and goes, curiously just starts to drink it. Chug it, really. And Rue, you escort him out?
Thirsty.
Yeah. So, just out of curiosity, are you just taking him to the shuttle, or is there a scene here? Because Rue just seemed to be pretty insistent that they were going to take them down to the...
Really? I feel like I just offered, but no, I'm not going to.
Let me tell you my. You say you just offered, but from the GM's chair, I saw a look of death, and then I saw I'll take him, and then I'm picturing Rue alone with the look of death in a turbo lift going back down the shuttle. So that's why I was asking.
So yeah, I think that's just a very shortcut of
What happens?
very silent lift.
Okay. As y'all
Unless he
are,
talks, I don't know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he talks. As y'all are in the lift, he just says, "It's a nice ship.
Fine science vessel.
I can see why Malgog wanted it."
And the crew is why he didn't get it.
He got one of you.
We got a good number of his.
I heard about that. So why didn't you bother getting him back?
Not my call.
It's a shame. I didn't think the Federation was this kind of organization that just abandoned people.
I wouldn't say they've abandoned anyone yet. Good things come to those who wait.
Well, he's been waiting a while.
Huh? With your information, perhaps not so much longer.
The doors open up. You walk into the cargo bay and you see an engineering team has begun to gather around the shuttle and already running diagnostics. And he's like, do I have to actually be in the shuttle or can I stand around it?
Not my call.
Well, what happens if I decide to stand around it then?
I suppose you'll be standing instead of sitting.
Suits me. I just spent 2 days sitting. And he just folds his arms, and you see a few of the crewmen are looking up at this strange Orion who's kind of standing over them, and they go back to focusing on their work, but they do kind of notice that there's an unusual person of interest on the deck. They also notice that you're here, so they you kind of get the impression that they're giving you the impression that they're like, okay, well, this must be under control then if Rue's here, because there's nothing really to worry about. But he just kind of folds his arms. He doesn't look intimidating in any particular way, but he just kind of leans up against the shuttle and let them do their work. And he begins to...
I'm not intimidated.
Yeah. And he drinks his cream soda, so he's definitely not intimidating right now.
He would like it.
Yeah. Okay.
Definitely the soda thing.
Yeah.
Definitely the soda.
I mean, green tea, you can't compare.
All right.
Martinez to Rue.
Hi, sir.
When you're done transporting our guest to his ship, would you mind reporting to the bridge, please?
Hi, sir.
Doctor, where are you?
Are we all still in the ready room?
You get communication from Mataz. Doctor. Sorry to bother you, Doctor. We have a patient down here who's complaining of headaches. I've been running a scan and I've picked up some unusual readings. I thought you might like to see them.
Absolutely. Captain, if you'll excuse me.
Please.
Just one thing to think about. Are we sure we want to send our new guest back to whatever he was doing before?
I don't know.
Just something to think about. Your job, not mine.
Thank you, Doctor.
So we'll go ahead and do this scene first and then sick bay. Just so I know what everyone's doing. Where is Talon and Lark? What are y'all up to?
I'm at the helm. I've put in the coordinates and
Plotted the course?
whatever warp the captain has put me in.
Well, we're not heading there yet, right?
Oh, I
believe
thought-
was it?
Oh.
Was it Commander Rue that wanted to figure out
No, we're plotting.
We're plotting the course.
Zazrit gave you the course of the last known coordinates of his vessel.
I figured
So
if we
then
at least make it
from
there, we can
there-
maybe try and.
We'll go to.
It's possible that Sally can pick up a trail.
Well,
I mean,
I want to hold off on that only because I don't know if the
It's a trap.
USS Sally Ride. I mean, yeah, wrong franchise, but yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
I didn't.
I just wanted to kind of discuss some of that
Sure.
amongst
I totally
ourselves
understand, okay.
before we. But I assumed
Course is laid in, but you don't have to engage.
right, and I assumed incorrectly that with that information, knowing that his ship that was taken over goes max warp 3, plotting a course to neutral zone, plotting a course to out of Federation space, those options that he was going over of like where his ship might be, if we were doing that trajectory math of like, okay, with our ship and our stats going as fast as we can go, where could they be? Where would we need to, like, those were the sort of, so I figured we would be doing that kind of math immediately, just so that we have all of that information.
I'm working on it.
Sure.
Plotting
You can
courses and-
you'll definitely get a better read when you arrive at its previous known location.
Okay.
But you can start basically triangulating where you think they might have gone. But the trail is much warmer at the coordinates he gave you. But you can start making the plot, yeah. Getting an idea of, because ideally, I mean, it's kind of obvious if he's trying to flee Federation space, obviously he's going to plot a course farther away from, unless he's trying to be clever and go under the noses. You don't really know this, Captain. So yeah, you can definitely start making the calculations, but it'll be much more useful when you guys arrive on location at the coordinates. And at about that time, Rue comes up onto the bridge. Janelle steps up.
Posted security.
Okay.
In the bay.
Yeah.
Ox crew go.
So all of us Sans Shishiros are on the bridge. And who else is on the bridge? Is it just us?
Shishiros is, you went down to
You said everyone but me.
oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Sans.
correct. Yeah,
That's what Sans means,
yeah.
right?
It's in the,
I didn't catch that.
Okay.
Transporter room 2.
Yeah, Jiv is finishing up work on Transporter Room 2.
Is there anybody else on the bridge other than us four?
Yeah, there's always ensigns that are
always
like
ensigns. So
doing
fine.
standard work. Yeah.
So this conversation can happen with everybody on the bridge.
Anybody who's on the bridge, unless it's like
It's
a
like
communication
staff.
coming through from an admiral with top secret info, it's like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
highly
yeah.
classified thing. But anybody on the bridge has clearance to
Yeah.
know mission priority.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk this through. And I want everybody's thoughts, feelings, ideas, theories, everything. We have somebody on the ship who is part of the Orion Crime Syndicate, who we are helping repair his ship, and who has promised us information in exchange for these repairs, which, as a humanitarian and peacekeeping armada, we would have already enacted anyway. And he is expecting us to chase down the people who took his ship from him, because the person who is causing a lot of trouble within his culture may or may not be selling biologically engineered weapons. Is that right?
Biogenic weapons, yes.
Biogenic weapons to allies or enemies of the Federation.
Including Federation members, apparently.
Yeah.
Although remember, the Zakdorn did completely disavow that guy. The general was
Yes.
completely disavowed as a rogue element and has since been sentenced.
It's true.
I would disavow him, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I can't speak for everyone here, Captain, but my opinion would be I would particularly like to go after Captain Malgog if we can find any information on how to catch him and just bring a little justice to our crew. I feel like that would be ideal for me.
Understood, Ensign. We are not in the revenge business. That's not what Starfleet does. This is out of our jurisdiction. We would need to get clearance from Starfleet to go after a known criminal to the Federation. But other than that, we are on a scientific mission right now.
Understood, Captain.
This is something that we're not supposed to go do. I'm not disagreeing with you entirely, Ensign. I'm just stating some facts right now. We could potentially be putting this crew in danger, going after somebody who slighted us, who took somebody's life, who belonged on this crew. But we could potentially be putting the rest of this crew and ship in danger. We could be flying into a trap. We could get something from this. We could get nothing from it. We could reunite this Zazrit with his ship, and we could get information about Capo Malgog that we could give to the Federation, and then our job is done. But we would have to go after them.
Yes, sir. If there is a figure who might even potentially be responsible for biogenic weapons sales, it is the highest duty of Starfleet to investigate that intelligence to the very best of our ability. This is far, far more than any personal vengeance. This is critical to the survival of planets and species. This must be done.
It must be investigated. It must be investigated. Talon, what do you think?
I agree with the opinions that have been stated today about taking this opportunity while we have at least some knowledge as to the whereabouts of a trader of biogenic weapons. It would probably be at least partially fruitful to try to find out more about the trade of biogenic weapons. This is a major threat to all life forms, not just Federation life.
But where do we draw the line? Where does the Prime Directive fit into all of this? Why can't we determine that slavery is a threat to some peoples, Orion peoples? Why doesn't Starfleet intervene with this culture, with this crime syndicate? Is it because it's out of our jurisdiction? Where do we draw the line?
I believe you are calling upon what is often referred to as moral relativism. When we draw lines when certain things we don't agree with are happening, but when other things that are just as bad or worse are happening, we turn the other eye to them.
I think it's cheek, I think is the...
Oh yes, turn the cheek.
Yeah.
In Vulcan it translates to turn the other eye.
I guess that could also make sense, too. The way to say that, we're saying the same thing.
Yes.
Okay.
That is a good question, Captain, but that is not one that I feel equipped or it is not my place to answer that for you.
It's not our call to go to war, but if there's slavers in front of us, we take care of it. We're one ship. We take the opportunities that are available to us, and as I recall, there's something about risk being our business.
Yeah?
And Captain, the longer we wait here, the colder the trail will get.
We have a killer on board right now. We have by our standards, a misery profiteer. Someone who is admitted to killing people, but he's not the bigger fish, right? We have to let him go. We have to let him get back to his ship and his business because he has a moral code.
Another option, Captain, is to not help him. We do not have to repair his ship. We do not have to bring him back to his ship. We don't have to repair his shuttle or bring him back to find his ship. I think if we take action, it is not to benefit him or help his trade by any means. It is to help the Federation to find and eliminate the threat of biogenic weapons.
But no matter what happens, we would be helping him. It's impossible for Starfleet to turn away when somebody's life is in danger, and thankfully his isn't. But if we were to leave him in a shuttle that would run out of air in 20 minutes, then it would be like if we were killing him. So we couldn't do that. We couldn't just send him on his way either, because he would be dead out there, according to his words. And again, all of this could be a trap. He could be working with Capo Malgog himself. We could be heading into an ambush. And I don't see the USS Sally Ride being overwhelmed by Orion weaponry, but the last time we had to deal with tachyon particles. So we never know what will happen. We saw a cosmic event today that no human has ever seen. No Vulcan has ever seen. No Trill has ever seen. We don't know what's going to happen.
We make choices with the information that's available to us.
Yeah.
Well, we'll find out what those choices are. Because it's 11, we got to go on break.
Wait, I can do the coordinates right now, Captain. Let's go.
Oh my God, So come back. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. We're going to do the giveaway codes as we go to break. And we'll see what the crew of the Sally Ride decides to do next. Stay tuned, guys. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Shield of Tomorrow. Yes, so we have a couple of quick announcements from the break. I have a winner of the Temporal Pack giveaway from Star Trek Online. Robbie won Kenobi. Yeah, I see you there, Robbie. Congratulations, you just won our pack from Star Trek Online.
Robbie Kenobi?
Robbie won Kenobi, yes.
Little Robbie.
He must mean old Robbie Kenobi.
He must be talking about old Robbie.
Oh, that in years. Back in my day.
Oh my God, Star Trek fans everywhere going, no!
False dichotomy.
Also, another quick announcement. Chandra, is that her name? Is that the name? Chandra is our new mod. The mod sword has been given to Chandra. I have been told to congratulate and thank Chandra for joining up with us. Sax, yes, good luck, brave Chandra.
This is my Chandra arms.
Chandra fingers.
Chandra I met at Gen Con last week, who is also always talking to us online. You're the best. Thank you.
And if you're not,
you're still the best.
You're still awesome. You're gonna do the Wayne's World zang. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and leap back into the game because you have a sexy Orion waiting by his shuttle and a ethical conundrum on your plate as the Sally Ride is at station keeping, wondering what she's going to do next. We're going to start this off with Shasiros walking into the medical facility here on the USS Sally Ride. As you walk into the med bay, you see Mataz. A few crew members here. It's not unusual to see a crew member here and there coming and going as needed, but you see a young ensign she's just rubbing her forehead, and Mataz has just finished talking to her, and as you approach this, Doctor, let me tell you something about Mataz that I let everybody else know that you don't know, or rather that you probably have also become privy to. Mataz, you get the impression there's a little bit of hero worship with Mataz. He's kind of followed your career and was a little excited when he got assigned to be the nurse on the USS Sally Ride, finding out that you would be working on this vessel as well.
Is it Mataz or Matazi?
Matazi, sorry. It's Matazi.
Okay, Matazi. Okay, I thought I spelled it wrong. But yeah, but it goes, Mataz for close.
So as you approach, he just says, "Oh, Doctor, yes, I've been running some scans on her. Let me show you what I've come up with." And he brings up the scans on screen. And he says, "Right around here, if you look, it's... Yes, there." And he points. You see a lot of the wave scans that are coming through from some of the biological scans that he ran with the tricorder. It looks like in the lower part, or maybe at the base of her skull, as you kind of lean in close, I need you to make a medicine check.
Reason medicine?
Reason medicine. You can use your xenobiology. She is a human, you are. Difficulty here. Let's put the difficulty at 3.
Oh,
This is challenging.
Yeah, burn.
You also see the anomaly, but you don't know what it is. Let's see if you get it. Difficulty is 3. It is challenging.
3.
3 successes. If anybody could do it, Jashiros could. As you lean in close, it takes a moment to sort of understand what it is you're seeing, but the biological scan, like at first you think it might be, no, her spine has slightly fused at the base of her neck. It looks like one of the vertebrae, it would be an easy thing to fix for you, but one of the vertebrae has fused. It looks like it's connected, and only half of it. So it's causing a disalignment of her head, essentially, and is undoubtedly the source of the headache.
Ensign
McGregor.
Ensign McGregor, I'm so glad you came in. Have you been up to any unusual activity today?
No, just my usual duties.
And you work in...
Engineering?
Engineering. You weren't working on our little transporter problem, were you?
Not today.
Right. I'm just gonna have you sit right here, if you would.
She winces a little bit and sits.
When did this headache start?
I guess I think the first time I noticed discomfort was about 3 or 4 days ago. And it's been kind of gradual ever since.
Well, what were you doing for the other 3 days?
Just my job, I guess. I was just working, doing my duties and such. Nothing particularly unusual for me.
You are a trooper, but I'm awfully glad you're here because if we don't correct this, we're gonna fix it.
She just looks and says, "What's wrong? Am I okay?"
You've got a spinal situation that's a little unusual.
A spinal situation? Matazi leans in and says, "Your vertebrae have fused." What does that mean? And Matazi says, "Means you're going to be fine."
So we're just going to separate that out, but I need to narrow down what might have caused this. 3 days ago, you were... Any unusual field activity? Any physical stressors?
It was when we were running diagnostics on the transporter a few days ago. A standard level 5 diagnostic that we do every 48 hours.
Just running the tests?
Sure. It's not a very involved test. But we decided to go ahead and beam a few things from transporter room 2 to 1.
Were you one of those things?
Yes. It's pretty standard, especially if things were working. I only bring it up because you asked if I'd been involved with the transporter thing earlier, and I thought maybe that's relevant. Matazi leans in and says, "Doctor, her medical file does not show that she's ever had a fused spine."
It used to be a standard practice for certain spinal anomalies, but we have much better ones now. All right. We're going to get you settled, and I think we're just going to put, what do they say, a kibosh on more transporting for the future. Captain?
Yeah, Captain here.
We have what I suspect is a transporter accident. I think Jiv's suspicions about our equipment are very well founded. And we've got a spine that's fused that shouldn't be. So we may want to hold off on...
I'm sorry, whose spine?
Ensign McGregor. She's going to be fine.
What? Okay, what part of the spine?
It's all right. It's 2 vertebrae in her neck, and we're just going to get them separated out. But
this is due to the transporter error.
I suspect
the .00008, something like that.
The disalignment. There's essentially
variance.
There's a phase variance in the transporter.
Doesn't take much, Captain.
All right. Thank you for the update. Let me know about Ensign McGregor's health as soon as you can.
Absolutely.
And thank you for your work. It's good to have you back, Doctor.
Good to be back.
All right.
Sir, I could pull the duty roster of the other engineering staff who were working with the transporter that day and send them in.
Please do that. I want to get them all checked out. And in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and issue a ship-wide halt on transporters until we figure this out. Lieutenant Commander Jiv, are you there?
Aye, Captain.
What is the update on the results of the transporter? You said, has it been about 20 minutes yet?
Oh, yeah. He's done.
Yeah. What's the update?
Results come back. I know you don't like to hear this, Captain, but I'm still trying to make what it is that I'm seeing.
Okay. Just give me the facts.
The resonating field dampener has been affected, and I don't know what could have affected it.
Could it have been environmental? Could it have been cosmic? Could it have been the...
It's possible, but everything I'm seeing right now shows that this phase variant... I think I'm going to have to run a level 1 diagnostic and take the transporter apart and look at it from the inside out. And that could take up to 8 hours.
That's fine. Would having more personnel make that quicker, or is it going to take 8 hours no matter what?
Well, I got a crew of 6 down here. I can pretty much manage with that. And if we need shifts, we can do that. I can manage my team for sure.
Can you get it done in 6 hours, Shiv?
You see, there's quiet on the comm for a second and says, "Yeah, Captain, I can do that for you."
Okay, just a heads up, we have a transporter accident. It seems that Ensign McGregor had part of her spine fused together as a result of this error.
The universal translator will occasionally omit certain words on occasion. It's why Klingons sometimes get away with saying speak in their native tongue and doesn't. There's a muttering of what you can imagine a Tellarite must be saying along the lines of "Holy shit," and then he says, "Are they okay?"
They're going to be fine. Dr. Shishiros is taking care of it. They're going to be 100%. But as you can imagine, that leads me to issue a ship-wide halt on anybody using the transporter until we get this figured out. So 6 hours or less, Jiv, if you can make it happen.
I can. With your permission, Captain 2, I'm going to obviously order the Transporter 1 be only used in extreme cases.
Understood, I agree.
The last thing I was going to say, if you wouldn't mind, once we get the results of the level 1 diagnostic, if I could run those past Lieutenant Commander Talon.
Of course, please.
I'd like to get her eyes on it as well.
I'm sure she's at your disposal. Also, can you give me an update on the repair status of our guest's ship?
I can check in with that and give you an update on that in about, give me 10 seconds.
Take your time.
Okay. Captain, I just heard back from the engineering team. It seems that repairs are underway, although he is being slightly distracting.
Oh my God! Can we get? What do we need? What do we need? Pants and a shirt on this guy?
Is he not wearing a shirt? You hear?
He's wearing like a half of a shirt. You can see his pecs, his nipples. They're gorgeous. It's fine, but just tell your guys down there to get it done, okay? He's just an Orion, for Christ's sake. It's an Orion. We've all seen an Orion before.
We certainly have now.
If this was an episode of Star Trek, Jiv would be.
Yeah.
Yes, Captain. I'll inform my engineering crew to ignore his nipples, sir.
Just as much as you can. I'm not asking for a miracle. I get it. Okay, they're very prominent, but just as much as you can. Just get it done. How long are the repairs going to take?
Not too long, Captain. Even though the nacelle was pretty heavily damaged, it looks like it was a glancing blow. I mean, the ship itself isn't... Don't tell him I said this, but Orions, they don't take very good care of their vessels.
It's a dump shuttle.
Yeah, I agree, Shiv. All right.
Shouldn't take too long to get underway.
Thank you. Thank you. Martinez out.
Okay.
All right. Everybody, we're going after at least the trail that Zazrit has left behind.
The coordinates already in, Captain, on your order. Whatever warp you'd like me to activate.
Let's hit the gas.
Warp 7. Warp 7. And
Warp
set a
7.
course. Warp 7.
All right.
Set course, warp 7.
Set a course, warp 7.
How long is that going to take for us to get there?
Just kidding.
Okay.
Can't tell you, we didn't get very far.
When suddenly Bonnie became the GM.
Yeah.
We made it.
At warp 7, probably about 2 hours.
Okay, good. That gives me enough time to check in with Starfleet.
Yep. So the Sally Ride, she kind of comes about, and those nacelles lock into position. And a few moments later, one of the fastest ships in all of Starfleet immediately leaps to warp, and she is gone. You're in your quarters, Martinez, sitting down. You're going to contact Starfleet.
Admiral Nash, yeah.
At this distance, it probably takes about 15 to 20 minutes on subspace, but you do get a reply coming in. And you see Nash come up, and he's drinking a cup of coffee, and he says, Captain, what can I do for you?
Well, Admiral, hate to be calling at this hour. Didn't mean to interrupt anything, obviously, but we've got
Not
a bit of
problem.
a situation on our hands, and I wanted to keep you informed. We're going after a potential lead within Starfleet space of an Orion slaver attack that occurred, specifically with the notorious Capo Malgog.
Malgog was the one from your report, am I correct?
Correct, yes. He was the one who killed one of my crew members. But not only that, we have been given information by an Orion who's being cooperative. He lost his ship, there was a mutiny, and his crew has decided to team with this Capo Malgog, who considers himself a Commodore now within the Orion crime syndicate.
You see,
Yeah.
he just kind of, and he sets the mug down, and he says, they love their titles.
Yep. So here's the situation. The guy we have on board right now goes by the name of Zazrit, and he says that he can get us information from his ship, which he lost, which we are currently en route to about 2 hours away to where he was attacked and escaped. Because Zazrit was specifically looking for us, the USS Sally Ride. It seems we have a bit of a reputation with the Orion crime syndicate after our last encounter.
You should definitely try to find out how he knows about the Sally Ride.
Understood, sir. So we're going after this lead because he has informed us that Campo Malgag may have been the one responsible for giving that group of scientists biogenic weapons, which may pose, obviously, a threat to the Federation and a threat to the galaxy.
Well, isn't that interesting? All right, Captain. Please keep me updated. I'm going to leave this in your hands because I think you know what you're doing here. But keep me updated. I'm going to go ahead and let Starfleet Intelligence know what you just told me.
Thank you, sir.
Have you ever seen, Captain, some of the video feeds from a few hundred years ago when biogenic weapons were first tested?
Yes, sir, I have. Let's hope it doesn't come to that.
I will do that. Nash out. You see the symbol of Starfleet pop up on your screen.
All right, back to the bridge. Sitting in my chair. Yes, fucking day. Great.
Oh, we don't have cup holders anymore. I can't bring them. I'm just kidding.
2 hours. 2 hours in transit. After about an hour at warp, Commander, you get a communication. Commander, it's our guest. He's getting a little unruly down here. I think you might need to come down and...
I go to collect Zazrit.
All right.
I can help. You need help? I can be backup. Just kidding.
I've got hands.
Yeah, I'll give you a hand. No, I'm driving.
Very helpful at many things, Sage. I'm going to go gather Zazrit.
I'll just stay here on the bridge.
Walking into the shuttle bay, you see a few of the security team has surrounded him, but no one has their weapon out. But it kind of, for lack of a better way of describing this, it looks like 4 police officers kind of questioning one person. It's got that sort of intimidating half circle thing going on with 4 of these security officers who are kind of facing Zazrit. But the worst part about the scene is it looks like all 4 of them... How do I describe this? You remember that scene in Pirates of the Caribbean where the 2 guys guarding the ship ended up listening to Captain Sparrow's story instead of guarding the ship? Yeah. They all seem to be a little entertained by the things that Zazrit is saying when you walk in. And as you approach, all 4 of those security officers suddenly look like somebody jammed a stick up their ass because they just go to attention and say, Commander. And Zazrit turns and goes, oh, I was hoping they were going to send that handsome captain of yours.
I'm afraid you'll have to make do with me.
I'm all right with that.
We're about to go into action.
You see suddenly, Rue, you've been in battle. You get a glimpse of a coldness in his eye, and the speed in which it switches on, it's a little unsettling. But you see this gleam as he says, really? So you're following the bread trail? Anything I can do?
Yes, you're going to help us tactically. So I suppose that means you're liaising with me.
Promise I won't slow you down. I'll get you what you need.
I move fast, see that you keep up.
I usually like to take my time, but I'll keep pace.
Jesus, everything is too sexy. It's too sexy. Horrible. Every sentence is so
See, that's why
sexy.
it's good that he's having this conversation with me.
Those lines.
Too sexy, too sexy.
Hashtag not a date. Not a date.
So he says, am I following you then?
In time. So how did you misjudge your third in command so badly?
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure that part out. You know, honestly, I'm not very popular with a lot of the Orions. Especially the Masters. They don't like me too much.
Masters are far away. Your crew's right there. You lost 15 out of
The Masters
27?
are never far away. Once they get under your skin... I've watched Orion men cut body parts off because they were told to. All for the love of the Masters. Except me.
Yeah, you seem to have all your body parts.
Not because I stuck around. I'm one of the few Orions born. I had a genetic defect. Pheromones don't work on me. Female Orions don't take too kindly to that. Means I can't be controlled. Spent most of my life on the run. Hasn't changed much since I joined up with the Syndicate.
I suppose you can't be controlled by pheromones.
By pheromones. Usually Orion males, not controlled by pheromones, killed at birth. Just so you know. That's kind of how it goes.
I'll let our anthropologist know.
Yeah, they might be interested. They want to, ask me questions. I'm happy to answer them. I feel quite special.
Good. That was our goal. So are you going to make enemies by turning against Malgog then?
Yeah, but not as many as you might think. There's a lot of people that are really... Biogenics is crossing a line. And that's coming from a government that specializes in some pretty unsavory things.
I imagine you've done a little bit in your time.
Not slave trading, if that's what you're suggesting. I don't have anything to do with that. You're talking to somebody who's never spent their life in chains. And I wouldn't wish that on anybody. Yeah, there's money in it, but there's plenty of other things to do. There's a lot of ways to make money in this galaxy. I like information. Less hands-on.
Not into the hands-on. I'll make a note.
Well, with information.
This is good.
I'm sure Starfleet would be very interested in finding out your friends who find the trade of biogenic weapons to be crossing a line.
I've considered that. I wanted to see how y'all would react to me when I showed up. I was half expected to be thrown into a brig, which, to be fair, still better than my shuttle. It's a piece of crap. He looks at this thing. He was like, when the life support started failing, I wasn't really that disappointed or surprised.
Yeah, they're dump shuttles, aren't they?
Yeah, they don't do so good.
Well, we'll patch her back up for what she's worth, and we'll see if maybe we can't get your vessel in some shape of intact for you. And then you can help us out.
Sure.
All right.
It's worth noting that if you find Malgog, you'll find your guy.
What do you mean by that?
Your guy. That's how I heard about the Sally Ride. Your guy? You're the blue guy. He used to work here or something like that.
Oh. Yeah. What kind of shape's he in these days?
The same shape anybody is in when they get press ganged by a pirate.
Yeah, I can imagine that would be the case. Well, we'll make sure that we leave you in good shape so that we can get what we need.
Mind if I ask you a question?
You do seem to like
Bajoran on the
information.
bridge. Is she just your helm officer? Does she do anything else around here?
Who's asking?
Operations.
Operations.
Why?
I'm a curious man. Tell your captain I said hi.
That I will do.
What's happening?
Just trying to play every hand.
I'd like to just roll a little bit of intimidate.
Sure.
Getting all
Absolutely.
up on the Anson.
Can I assist?
Sure. This is going to be a contested roll.
Well, I would like some momentum for this.
You're going to burn momentum?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
It is important for him to know.
Just one.
Okay, we have 2 now, right?
Yeah. Let me get his stats. All right, here we go.
I'm all heated over here. What else does he want to know about me?
Present security, daring security. What am I doing here?
This would be present security.
All right, let's go. You gonna roll with me? We can dance.
What's that?
Is this contested? Or?
It's contested, yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's dance.
So go ahead and make a roll. Tell me what you get.
Dance.
All right. That'll do. 3.
3. Okay, you intimidate him. You kind of give it a lean in. He reacts. You're not subtle, and his reaction. His reaction is basically like you can tell there's actually a physical reaction, like he's aware that he's overstepped, and that you've read him properly. But as you lean in and give him the look, he just goes, "Oh, all right. I was just curious.
Behave.
I'll behave."
See that you do. I'll walk out.
I mean, you don't have to.
You are gonna say hi to the captain for me as you walk out.
Sure.
All right. Doctor, I want to make a roll with Shasiros because you are going to have to defuse a spine.
That's tricky
And
work.
I want to see this done with a roll.
What's the difficulty?
Look, you're a grown woman. It just has to be like.
I feel like, oh man, it's got the new book smell. It's so
You
great.
don't know.
You don't know me.
Sage might like the color green. You know, it's a nice color.
Once you
but
go
there's
green,
ways to go
you
about
ask
it.
yourself
That's all I'm saying.
why you went green.
Once you go green,
You're like,
you're
what?
always in me. Got nothing. I'll come up with one.
Ain't easy being green. No.
Yeah, something, I don't know. It's not easy. Yeah, that's great. Zazrit's like, hi, Captain. Do you know why there are so many colors in the rainbow? Sorry.
We lost
I
some dice.
won't go there.
That's
All right.
excited.
That's okay. I was going to make this an extended check. Let's just go ahead and keep this a straight check because the operation is relatively simple. So let's just go ahead in this case and we'll just do a your standard medicine check. But instead of your reason, it's going to be control. Because you are doing surgery.
That's just
So this is going to be
good.
this is going to be your control. Your control in medicine.
Yeah. And what's the difficulty?
And I'll let you do xenobiology on this to help you with this a little bit. The difficulty, it is a spinal surgery, so I'm going to set the difficulty at 2.
You all be all right with me spending 1?
Yeah.
Yep.
Do the thing.
I'm only at a 14
you get
on
cautious.
this.
Go for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go. Always spend a
Yeah,
minute on your medicine.
we'll definitely use a momentum to defuse the spine of one of our crew people. Yeah.
I want McGregor to win.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's help this poor woman. Yes.
Oh, I got one. Once you go green, it doesn't matter what you've seen. Keep going. Okay. It's fine.
And now surgery.
Everything on that guy at this point.
It's like I've gotten really good at spotting like the gifs. I'm like, that's a gif. All right.
Oh.
Rerolls?
Oh.
Cautious. Reroll.
I'm just picturing Shasiros go, all right, laser scalpel, headsman's axe. And
Wait, we can still fix it. We can still
all right,
fix it.
yeah. You get a reroll.
You get a reroll.
Because of your trait.
Yeah.
So I have 1 success right now.
Okay.
2 successes.
Good
Okay.
reroll.
So
Very nice.
So basically what happens is once the laser scalpel, sorry, I'm going to get a little graphic here. Once the laser scalpel opens up the back of her neck and you get into the bone structure, Matazi's assisting. As you get inside, you're seeing things visually that the scans were picking up, but now that you're seeing them visually, you see that it must have been a transporter issue, because with her medical file, after you've examined her medical file, Matazi was correct. There was never a spinal fusion in her life, not from birth, not ever. When you get inside and you're actually using the laser scalpel to separate the spinal column once again, it looks like it's always been joined. So at a molecular level, the bones literally just crossed.
It's a miracle she's alive.
Yeah, having a headache, she got off light. Thankfully,
The next person on the ship who goes 3 days with a headache and doesn't say anything to me is going to have 2 headaches.
is going to get the arms. Go to sick bay.
The flailing Muppet.
Can I follow up on that? Did anybody that was on Rue's list when they pulled it up that were in like the same department?
I'll tell you right now, no one else has been complaining of any symptoms.
Okay. But can we still send everybody to get a checkup?
Absolutely.
Right.
Okay. Any results from that, or was it just?
I think it was just him that got transported, right? Or I guess they do it every day.
A few of them have, but I mean, just to be safe, because who knows how long this has been going on. Jiv has only detected it recently. You guys can send the engineers who have been working the closest with the transporter ever since the last encounter with the Cardassians, and you can send Matazi can give them an examination easily while you're doing your work. And essentially, what you'll discover, I won't make you roll for this, is that everyone seems to be just fine. There's no unusual symptoms.
What's McGregor's first name?
What's McGregor's first name? Lena.
Lena.
Is she human?
Human?
She's human.
Human, okay.
Yep.
Lena. I like that name.
Can I just note where I am right now? If I'm not needed on the bridge, I would like to be back in my research lab analyzing the data from the celestial event.
Yeah.
Sure.
Let's get some of that going.
Okay.
I
would like to go science. May I go science, Captain?
Please, yeah, we got, I don't know, like an hour and a half before we get to
Go ahead and make your science roll.
All right.
And I'm going to set the difficulty. You're going to get so suspicious. But I am setting the difficulty at 4.
What?
Yes. At 4.
You want to burn that?
And
now this is not. Just so you know, the role is not to succeed or fail at the research you've gathered. You're going to have the research and you'll be able to interpret it.
What we get,
I'm having you
right.
roll to see what Talon notices going through the data.
okay. I also am more fully prepared as a player today, so I know what all of my talents do.
Boom.
So
Boom.
yeah.
There should also be something relating to this at
Well, yes.
the
there
ship's
is.
talent here.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the ship.
Basically, I get a re-roll whenever I do something assisted by the ship's computers or sensors. I get a re-roll of 1d20, which includes the ship's.
That is a very good talent.
Yeah.
That is a great talent.
Talon is good at what she does.
How many are you rolling with to begin with?
Well,
2?
Yes, 2 to begin with.
Okay.
This is difficulty 4, we said?
Yeah.
Do we want to?
Difficulty is 4.
Oh,
we
we're
wanna burn our last momentum? Yeah, let's do it.
You might as well, because you're going to lose it. And because we're about to hit
that's
another,
right.
we're going to hit another scene anyway, so you might as well burn it.
Use it or lose it.
Yeah.
And then, okay.
So
Are you gonna roll for Sally, Sam?
So y'all,
What am I rolling for that?
all of y'all need to get a success.
all y'all need to get a success.
Or like science.
Okay, that's
Okay, so
Nothing
Sally,
at least.
she's going to roll. That's going to be. Wait, is that? Oh, it
That's
is.
computer science?
What? Hold on. What are these traits? What is this madness?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, computer science.
Okay.
But at least it's not
like
a
that
complication.
This is incorrect.
What was your question?
Here we go. Computers. Yes, that's correct. Computer science.
Good, that's a good one.
Okay.
Yep. This is what Sally does. She's going to have an awesome dice pool for this.
Beautiful.
Okay, we may need a re-roll because Talon got 2 successes out of 3,
No complication.
and the ship did not get a success.
Okay.
Okay, we can
We need
re-roll.
to crit.
All right.
Which one you want to re-roll? That? Yeah, it doesn't matter, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter.
Okay, here we go.
Although,
Oh, great, success.
So 3 successes.
Three
Not 2, but 3. Not 4, but 3.
You do not succeed.
Dang it.
But we can succeed at cost, can't we?
Nope.
Don't you always have the option to succeed at cost?
You do, but that's before a roll.
Really? Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't science.
So, question.
Okay.
Do you have values that are relevant to re-roll your dice pool, for instance? Because that's a thing you spend determination on.
Determination.
And you love you some science, so I feel like that might be value.
Using determination. Perfect opportunity, moment of inspiration, surge of activity. Points of determination may be spent to re-roll all of the characters' dice in their pool.
Or up to all what?
Or up to all.
Up
Determination
to all, so you
is-
can selectively re-roll the failures.
Determination is not to be messed with. I mean, but if you use it, you've only got
It's
one.
your daily, but it's only a daily.
Yeah.
Sure.
And
so you can.
science is important to you.
So
do you have a value that would apply? Does Talon have a value that she could apply to this that would inspire her
I think
to?
so.
What is it?
Scientific study leads to peace.
Boom.
What are you?
It's our
Just
science.
just so I know what you've got. What do you have any other values?
Yes, every way of life has logic and value. I'm not restricted by what others expect of me, and professional duty outweighs personal desire.
Okay. Yeah, I'll let the first one go. I'll let you have it.
Okay.
So go ahead and spend your point of determination for this game.
Selectively re-roll the failures.
Reroll any dice you
those
want.
are all successes.
successes.
That was the only failure.
Yeah.
We could
so
try.
let's see if we
I
if we
don't wanna
succeed.
mess this up, but
You get a 1?
I got a 3, but it's Sally.
Oh, it's in her
So
focus.
She
Okay.
automatically.
Oh,
yeah.
so we got 2 momentum?
I am curious if it allows you to reroll the Sally Rides dice pool.
all
Because
right.
I'm pretty sure it's only yours. I'm going to let this go because we don't know for
Right.
sure.
She could have re-rolled mine instead of
It's true.
hers. And
I think
then
moving forward,
the
we'll
dice
just keep
are
tabs of
fungible.
that. I'm pretty sure, but yeah, you could have re-rolled. It's
But
fine.
you all the game master.
Talon, the data is extraordinary. It's not. Not only are you picking up
Do that, science girl.
some pretty incredible, like celestial phenomenon that's taking place within like the gravitational fields of what was taking place with the planet alignment, and the way the gaseous clouds was dispersing in a gravitational field pulled between 3 planets and a blue giant. But you begin to see a pattern here, and it kind of pulls at you as you're watching the data stream coming up. I mean, it's thousands of lines of data that the Sally Ride has absorbed from her deflector dish and sensor suite. It's an incredible amount that most science vessels in Starfleet would never be able to accumulate the precision information that Sally was able to get with her sensor array. It really brings home that you are in one of the top of the line science vessels in the galaxy right now, the known galaxy, I should say. And as you're going through the lines of data, there's a moment where you realize you've kind of stiffened. You become aware that your body posture has changed and that you are experiencing what humans have commonly called deja vu. Like you've seen data like this before. Where you've had a moment where you've seen this before. How many successes did you get?
4.
5?
5. I critted.
You critted.
5.
Okay. You've seen data like this before. There's something unusual with the dispersal clouds of the gas that was coming off the first planet closest to the blue giant. And there's something unusual with the alignment of the planets themselves in correlation with the blue giant. In fact, as you're looking at it, the blue giant itself may actually not be in the precise position it was when it was first recorded upon its discovery.
Can you say that one more time?
The blue giant itself, this supermassive star, looks like, from its coordinates, I mean, things are always moving in space.
Right.
But this is a planet. This is a planetary system that's it's deep in Federation space, and many scientific surveys have come through here, probes and whatnot. It's easy to keep track of the alignment of the planets and to get a precise reading on exactly where everything is. It almost looks like everything has kind of shifted about an inch. Is kind of what it looks like. Mm-hmm. It looks like the orbit of the planets, the star itself, essentially. The pathway of this planet and its and it's coming close to the star, the Helix star itself. Helix 1 looks like it came closer than it was projected. And maybe that's not unusual, but the truth is so many scientific instruments that are being used by the Scientific Foundation of the Federation that it's highly unlikely that they were off as much as your readings are showing. It's just enough information to register in your incredible Vulcan mind as curious and an anomaly itself. It almost as if there was a gravitational force that was unseen that has tugged on the entire solar system.
Pulled, maybe?
Perhaps pulled.
I remember an episode named that. Let me just search my intelligence. Yeah, that was the first episode, was the pull.
I just said all of the names.
To give you some more context, it would take some of the Federation's most brilliant minds pouring through this data for weeks before they caught what you just caught.
Well,
Sifting
no.
through
One of the
this
Federation's
information.
most brilliant minds caught what she caught.
Brilliant mind with this kind of catch might be underselling Talon's intellect as you spot with 5 successes.
Quite so.
You were able to see a pattern. You were able to see a pattern that, despite your discipline, you feel that surge of curiosity.
You're gonna have to meditate about that, Phelan.
It's very likely that this is an anomaly very similar to something you've seen. Not anywhere near in the scale to which you saw it, but clearly something very similar.
That's a fast moon.
Captain.
Martinez here.
Captain, my data has revealed something very interesting.
Data from the eclipse?
Yes.
Go on.
Well, it seems that gravitational anomaly that we experienced during the Zakdorn incident.
Citrion 7?
Citrion
was it?
7.
No, that's not
Yeah,
right.
that's right. Citrion
It was
system.
Citrion 7. Very good.
It's the Citrion
memory.
system.
Seems that we may have experienced that again on a small scale. And clearly, that was a very disturbing and dangerous phenomenon that we still have no answers for. Captain, I would like to do further research on this data and see if the Starfleet database has any other recent occurrences. Am I needed on the bridge? This might take some time.
To give you an idea of where we are in warp,
Yeah.
you're in hour number 2, so you're actually going to be coming up on your destination pretty soon.
Actually, Talon, although that sounds fascinating and potentially dangerous, you're not needed on the bridge, but I may need you for something else. Can you meet me in the at Zazrit's ship? Can you meet me in the hangar?
Yes, Captain.
This should only take 20 minutes of your time.
Yes, of course, Captain.
Thank you. Okay, I'm on the bridge right now. I want to play a hunch. I want to get a little bit more information.
Sure.
Commander Rue, you're not on the bridge, right?
I'm on my way. I'll
You're on
be
your way?
arriving at whatever point is narratively convenient.
If you want, I'm happy to put Rue back on the bridge because basically the work you just did in the science lab.
Yeah, that took
That
much
was
more
not-
time than it
that
took
was
for
not
me
a
to
few minutes of
intimidate
yeah.
Zazrit and come back here.
Yeah, that was not a few minutes of your time. That was more like that filled a huge gap of the hour and a half that's taken place.
Great. Okay,
So we can also-
Commander Rue's back on the bridge?
Told you about Zadis.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to be, if that's where you want Rue to be.
All right.
Okay, they are back on the bridge.
Commander, I need you for something. As a backup, as it were, and I want to play a hunch. Ensign Sage,
Yes, sir.
I'd ask you to come along, but frankly, I think that I am. How do I put this delicately? I'm just gonna be blunt. I'm gonna say it. I think you might be too attracted to stupid, sexy Zazrit, so I'm gonna have you stay here on the bridge where I need you.
I appreciate your opinion, Captain, but I am more than capable of controlling myself. I understand your concerns. I will keep us at the coordinates,
Please.
and we'll notify you when we get close.
This next hunch that I'm gonna play, it doesn't specifically require your skill set. So sit this one out for now, but I need you on the bridge. And as a bonus, again, this guy is incredibly charismatic, okay? That's all I'm going to say. Martinez to Shishiros. Doctor, are you there?
Yes, Captain.
You're literally just pulling off your scrubs. And the ensign is in a regeneration cycle right now. Healing up just fine. Yeah.
Can I get an update on McGregor's condition?
She's gonna be fine.
Fantastic. Okay, great. Can you do me a favor? Can you grab a hypo spray and meet me in the hangar bay, please?
Sure, is everything all right?
I want to play hunch. I will explain on the way.
Sir, as someone who's staying on the bridge,
No, you're coming with.
okay. All the more so. What?
I'll explain in the turbo lift. Come on, let's go. Okay, so here's my plan. It does not sit well with me that whatever happens at the end of this, that this stupid sexy Zazrit's gonna get his ship back and potentially go back to Orion space. So I want one of two things to happen. Number one, if and when we get our information, if there's any proof that he has been engaging in illicit activity within Starfleet space, then we can nab him. Option number two, if this guy says he is what he is and thinks differently than the rest of the Orions, it's not, go ahead.
Real quick, since you're bringing that up, I as a GM, I want to know how much information you've divulged of your conversation with.
Yeah, that was something that I might have assumed, but given that the scene is happening, I assume it's about to happen in character.
Okay, so then,
I'm just
Martinez.
going off of the information like when I had my meeting with him.
Because we did have a good hour in which I could have filled you in, and you can take that
we
as
can
assumed
say that,
knowledge.
or if you want to role play that,
And if you are
because they're together now.
saying this anyways.
Let's do it now.
Okay, cool.
Because I want to have a little
Okay,
power
so
on the
let's go
turbo
ahead.
lift as
Sure.
we're meeting the rest of
Apparently.
the
Okay.
crew and then heading to the hangar
Okay,
bay.
cool.
But I'm going off of again, option number two, basically it's this. Either we arrest this guy or we recruit him for Starfleet itself. Because Orions have been a part of Starfleet before. Right?
It's weird. Actually, in main
rare.
In main canon, they haven't. But
At all.
That's right.
No, in main canon, Orions are not a part of Starfleet. It's interesting because in the Kelvin timeline, you do see an Orion or two in Starfleet.
Sure.
But in the Prime universe, I'm not aware that an Orion has ever joined up with Starfleet.
Okay.
Doesn't mean it couldn't happen. Does not mean it could
What
not
he
happen.
has said to me in my meeting with him, where he talked about how he disagrees with what Capo Malgog's doing, and he thinks differently than the rest of the Orion Crime Syndicate. He has a code. If I don't want to let him go back to doing what he was doing. If there's any possibility of recruiting him, if he can defect to Starfleet, then I might want to do that. And the way that I feel like I'll know that is I want to have Talon mind meld with this guy.
Sir, you don't need to mind meld with him. I've spoken with him, and I can tell you right now that I believe if we do right by him and this mission, that he would be willing to turn over as intelligence to Starfleet. He could be an incredibly powerful asset.
And be our inside man in the Orion Crime Syndicate. Is that what you're saying?
Or defect and make himself useful. Either way, it is very much a thing that by doing this mission, we can do. And he's already provided us with some valuable intelligence.
Okay. All right. And he said he was going to deliver more, so...
Zadis is alive.
What?
Did you say that Zadis?
Yes.
But we witnessed his murder.
We saw and drew conclusions. Zazrit says Zadis is press ganged into service. He might not have been killed, and I have no reason to believe that Zazrit is lying.
What did he say specifically? What did Zazrit say?
That if we find Malgog, we'll find our guy, the blue one, press ganged into service.
So he was transported. He's alive.
We have to help Zazrit. We have to complete this mission and get that intelligence and get Malgog. Get our man.
It is possible that we thought we saw him perish and he did not. He was merely incapacitated and knocked unconscious.
He was transported.
All manner of things could do this. If there's even a chance,
If there's even a
Zaz
chance,
is our crew.
If there's even a chance, then Lieutenant Commander Tanan is absolutely mind melding with this guy. I want every single piece of information that is in his head. Can you do that? Is that possible?
Yes, I can. Are you suggesting that I mind meld with him whether or not he agrees to the process?
Oh, yeah.
No.
No, yeah, absolutely. That's why we're going to have the doctor meet us there, and she's going to knock him out. He'll come to.
Sir,
He'll
we're
be fine.
Starfleet.
Yeah, we are. And we're dealing with an Orion slaver who may or may not have information about somebody who's in Orion space right now.
Whether you trust him or not, he makes claim never to have traded in slaves and to detest the practice. And again, I believe him.
But that doesn't mean that he might not have. He might have information buried in the recesses of his mind that he doesn't even know.
And that doesn't mean we descend to their level. We're Starfleet. We stand for something, sir. That isn't knocking people out and mind melding without their consent. We put on this uniform because we believe in the ideals of Starfleet. I certainly do.
But the Orions don't. They don't believe in those ideals. And so far, Zazrit has been completely cooperative, yes. But if I go to him right now and ask him to give me all of the information about Lynn Zadis' whereabouts and his condition and how he knew about him and if he's met him and where he is and if we can get him, are you telling me, do you think that he's going to be forthwith with all of that information? That there might be something that he might not even be aware of?
Sir, it doesn't matter what the Orions would do or not. You're in a Starfleet uniform. What Zazrit has told us is that the information to find Malgog is on his ship's database. But it doesn't matter if he had that information and he was holding his tongue. That's not what we do. It's not what we stand for, and it's sure as hell not what I stand for.
So, Commander, you are willing to let Lynn Zadis, if he's alive, continue to be captured against his will by the Orions?
No. I am going to do everything in my power to get him back. But you know what? Sacrificing my ideals, sacrificing what we're all here for, sacrificing the oath that I swore, that is not in my power, sir. And if you ask that of me, I will tender my resignation aboard your ship right now.
What if one of the things within our power, what if one of the things that we can do is use a Vulcan's natural ability?
Not without consent. No.
Captain, I understand the urgency of what you want to obtain from this Orion, but I agree with Rue. I think that in order to gain trust, we must earn it. That goes both ways, and so far the Orion has said and behaved in ways that, though seem to be not within our own decorum, he has been forthcoming with information. He has shown, as you said, he has shown a willingness to defect and not go along with the other Orion Syndicate members, and he seems to operate from a different set of rules. I think unless he shows himself to be untrustworthy or dangerous in any other way, we should work towards gaining his trust rather than taking it, because taking it does not work. You cannot take trust from someone.
And what if he has been lying? What if there's a possibility
What is this, Captain?
that everything that he said has been a lie?
Captain, you are...
Why are you considering this?
Because we have to consider every single option.
No. Why are you considering this?
Because I have to consider every single option, Commander. I have to consider the fact that this could be a trap. I have to consider the fact that I may be putting lives aboard this vessel in danger. Because of something that the Admiral told me, because of something that an Orion told me, somebody who is not Starfleet, that does not have the same ideals that we do, that is a possibility. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying I'm right. And I'm not disagreeing that he has been absolutely cooperative. And we could go down there right now and ask for more information. He could give it. He could willingly mind meld with Lieutenant Commander Talon. We could get all of the information that we could possibly have. We could go into the situation and it could go off without a hitch. We could get all the information that we need. We might even be able to get Lynn Zadis back. But all I'm saying is that there's a possibility that none of that will happen. That this guy is lying to us. And that more people could end up hurt or dead because of our decision right now. That's all I'm saying. That's my job. I have to consider every single possibility. Am I pissed? Damn right I'm pissed. But I'm also trying to look at this from every possible angle.
Sir, some things aren't possibilities. I would like to get off the turbo lift. I will have no party to this. Yeah, I get off.
Okay, you reach over and opens up on one of the decks.
I get off at that deck.
You watch Rue step off the turbo lift and turn and face you as the and the turbo lift begins. And you begin heading back to the cargo bay.
Captain, Rue brings up a very good point.
I know.
Not just about the Orion, not just about mind melding with someone against their will. It is about you. You have to see that your way of thinking right now is fear-based. You're very paranoid. You have been very on edge around this Orion.
Yeah, I have.
This is not you.
Lynn Zadis died right in front of my face.
But it seems that he did not die.
Yeah, seems we have a chance
You
to get him back. He's come back from the dead.
I think I understand what may be happening with you.
And what's that, Talon?
You are feeling a mixture of regret about your decisions and guilt for having lost one of your officers.
Yeah.
And that is what is driving your decision making right now.
Mm-hmm. You're absolutely right.
So if you can see that and recognize that, Captain, then
That's the thing about being human, Talon. It's something that we have to contend with. We can understand and see completely that we're acting irrationally. And yet, we have lingering doubts. We have little voices in our heads. We have things that are base survival instincts. That's what it is. It's absolutely fear. It's ignorance. It's completely and utterly irrational. But there's a little something sometimes in the back of our skull that's saying, this may keep you alive. Flight or fight. This may keep you alive. This may keep your family alive, the people that you love and care about alive. And it's tough to silence that voice in the pursuit of an ideal. And as much as I believe in Starfleet, and you know that I do, Talon, to the core of my very being, this is something I can't ignore.
The moment he says that, the doors open and you see the deck up ahead.
Is Dr. Shishiros here yet?
Shishiros is standing just outside the turbolift doors waiting for you all as you arrive.
Captain, there doesn't seem to be a medical emergency.
No, there isn't. There's another situation that's happening, Throllo.
before
Can I assume you've gone back up to the bridge?
Yeah.
Okay.
Before we step off the turbo lift, I just kind of... Captain, you say you believe in Starfleet. Do you believe in your senior officers?
Yeah. A lot of the times, more often than I believe in myself.
Then you need to trust what Rue and I have said to you today.
I know.
Trust that we can see past the fear and regret that you are experiencing so acutely right now.
That's why I believe in you and your abilities sometimes more than I believe in my own. I hear you. I understand. Throllo, this is a situation. Lynn Zadis is alive.
What?
He's alive.
What?
Yeah, we have reason to believe that Zazrit has met him, knows about him. He wasn't vaporized, he was transported. the Orions have him, against his will.
We saw it.
I know. It's been over a year, that's what we know. So my plan originally, and I think that I've absolutely been talked out of it, was to have everybody meet me here so that you could hypo-spray this son of a bitch, and so that Talon could mind meld with him so that we could get as much information as possible.
What?
Including information that he may or may not have been willing to part with. But cooler heads have prevailed, and now I'm going to talk to this guy. Commander Rue has opted to head back to the bridge. They were understandably upset with my spur-of-the-moment decision, but
Xanus is alive?
Yes, yeah, we have reason to
Where?
believe. We don't know. I don't know.
We believe he has been pressed into service. He may be, unfortunately, a slave.
According to Rue, Zazrit's words were, if we can find Capo Malgog, we'll find our guy.
The blue one.
He's gonna help us?
Yeah, you better.
They don't usually come back.
That is true.
Unless you have something pressing, Doctor, would you like to accompany us to go talk with Zazrit right now?
Sure. Matazi's got an eye on my patient.
Okay.
Your plan was what? Never mind. It's not
My
important.
plan was to, even before learning about Linzatis, was to do one of two things. However this goes down in about an hour, whatever information we get, if we find that Zazrit was engaging in illicit activity within Federation space,
Is any Orion not?
then we would have proof and then we could arrest him. Because it doesn't sit well with me that we would be unleashing him back to his lifestyle and his criminal activity, right? Option number 2, if this guy says truth about himself and his personality, if what he says is true about him and how he feels about the rest of the Orion crime syndicate, I'm going out on a limb here. But why wouldn't you do that? Because that's where the fruit is. Maybe we could recruit him to Starfleet. Sorry, if I'm losing you in human metaphors, maybe we could recruit him to become an informant or recruit him fully to Starfleet. Before I learned about Linzatis' whereabouts, my intent was to have Talon use her natural Vulcan abilities to breach any sort of a false barrier and really understand this guy and see if he would be worth recruiting, see if he would be worth trusting because of the predicament that we're in. But now, Talon and Rue have convinced me that we don't need to knock the guy out.
That was why I was here?
Yes. And I'm going to be honest, Furlow, I think I was hoping that my 3 brilliant senior officers could maybe talk me out of how I was feeling.
Humans are very confusing.
Yeah, well, we got a lot of shit done up to this point. We are confusing, I agree, but we got a lot of shit done up to this point. Okay.
So, real quick, I'm going to immediately award all of you 3 momentum.
All right. 3?
Yeah, not for free, because you just took me on a ride. Like, that was great. The turbolift doors open, and Lark, you hear an unusual sound. It's the sound of heavy crutches slamming into the deck. And when you turn and look back, the unmistakable body language of Commander Rue coming down the ramp towards the center chair would suggest contained rage. And without much of word, they make their way right past a few of the crew members, slap the crutches together, and sink into the center chair and say nothing. In your time serving with Rue, you've never seen them like this. But the dead silence that greets the commander as they take center chair. As a few of the ensigns glance at each other, no one says a word, and the silence goes on to say something even more about the situation. But you notice it.
And I'm the one who always is the awkward one in a silent situation. So, Commander, is everything okay?
Everything is fine. I go over and sit by Helm, so we're not overheard by the whole bridge.
There's no chair, but you can make your way.
No, I'm just gonna
Okay,
duck down.
They get up, come, and again with that agility, just is right up next to the center, by the chair, the Helm's chair.
I do my duty. I have never disobeyed a senior officer. I don't know what's gotten into him. I don't know what's gotten into me. No matter what, we have to succeed in this mission, Sage. Zadis is alive.
Zadis is alive?
He's alive, and we're gonna get him.
We saw him die.
We did not. What we thought we saw was wrong. And we are not going to let anything jeopardize that.
Yes, sir. If what you're saying is true, then with your permission, I would like to go to Warp 8.
Sage, go to Warp 9.
Yes, sir. We'll be there in a few minutes.
As the two of you witness a monumental moment for some of the ensigns who are aware of the commander who plays it by the book, deliberately breaking Starfleet protocol to go to maximum warp. We'll cut back down to the cargo bay as the three cowboys walk in. As the doors open, you see it's sort of the same scene. There's smaller engineering, there's a smaller repair crew here working on the thing, on the shuttles in the cell. You see they've got a few pieces of metal pulled off and have replaced it. It's an ugly patch job. But as you walk in, Zazrit turns around and goes, "Captain! Good to see you again.
Oh, I didn't send that.
You have such handsome cargo bays."
Thank you very much. Really appreciate that. Can we have a word?
Of course.
My commander informs me that you mentioned one of my former crew people, Zadis, is still alive. Is that true?
If that's his name. The Bolian?
The Bolian, yeah.
Yeah.
And you know for a fact he's alive?
I've spoken to him.
When?
That was the last time I was face to face with Malgog, so that must have been about 2.5 months ago.
Okay. He's with Malgog?
Well, he's a hell of an engineer, apparently. Malgog's got him working.
What kind of condition was he in? Health-wise?
Well, health-wise, he looked fine.
Okay.
He was a miserable son of a bitch, that's for sure. But that's not unusual. I mean, he's not the first person that Malgog's pressed into service. That's just how piracy works when you're short on someone as skilled as... I mean, look, I'm not trying to provoke you here, Captain, but if you can press gang somebody who's highly trained as a Starfleet graduate, that's worth more than a lot of loot you can get off of a ship.
I understand.
Some way to live you have.
I don't live like that.
How do you live?
I live by my own rules.
What do you want?
I want my ship back. I want
Why?
my crew released.
Why?
Because it's my life.
What's your life? What is your life?
What is my life?
Yeah.
It's whatever I want it to be.
So freedom?
Freedom's a good way of looking at it.
But yet you still serve the Orion crime syndicate, right?
I don't serve them. They're not very fond of me, but I do good business when they do have business to make with me. But the masters aren't particularly fond of me, if that's what you're asking.
How do you earn a living?
Mostly information. It's the cleanest way to get by in doing what I do, but occasionally I run illicit goods from time to time.
Illicit goods? What kind of illicit goods?
I usually don't look. That's kind of asking to be killed most of the time.
So you have a dangerous lifestyle, safe to say, right?
I mean, if you're flying in the stars, you've got a dangerous lifestyle.
Depending on what it is you're doing in the stars, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I've got a proposition for you, Zazrit.
All right, let's hear it.
I know it's unheard of, but how would you like to live a lifestyle that is completely free? You don't have to worry about making a living, worry about credits, money, continue to trade in information if you'd like. You work with Starfleet.
Work with Starfleet?
Yeah. You don't work for Starfleet, you work with Starfleet. Become a part of Starfleet, like we all are. I'm giving you a chance
What?
to escape
Escape?
possible death, danger, working with the Orion crime syndicate.
Captain, I know what running looks like. I'm not escaping.
It's not running. It's freedom. Federation space, you could be free. Not having to look over your shoulder. Not having to worry about whether you're rubbing the crime syndicate the wrong way. None of that. Make a life for yourself. Really, truly for yourself.
And do what?
And most importantly, maybe most importantly, ensure that you would never end up in a Federation prison for the rest of your life. Or worse, Zazrit. Because odds are, the way things are going, and what we're going to find out about Malgog, and what we're going to find out about the people that you've been working with, and your crew, and whoever he's been working with, and what he's doing, and what he's up to, you're going to get caught in the crosshairs. You're going to get caught by Starfleet. And somebody like me isn't going to be able to help you out. Unless you take this offer right now. Forget your crew, forget your ship.
He leans up on his shuttle and he's like, I'm never forgetting my crew. Ever. Ever. Would you?
As a captain, I can understand that. I sympathize.
I had a feeling.
You said that there are 15 crew members who were loyal to you.
Yeah, they're probably in holding cells at this point. Like I said, the Syndicate loves slavery.
But you don't?
I spent most of my life running from people who were afraid because they couldn't control me. I told your commander this earlier. I'm a bit of a genetic freak. I'm not affected by the pheromones emitted by the females of the Orion race.
So you can't be controlled by them?
That's correct. Usually males who are immune to it are executed at birth.
Yeah.
Because we're a threat
And how
to
did
stability.
you escape that fate?
That is a long story I'm not prepared to talk to you about.
And I'm sure the answer for this next question might be just as long, but how do you plan on continuing to escape that fate? You're still a threat. You're a threat right now. Your mere existence, your mere birth defect.
You're not telling me anything I don't know.
Yeah. And again, if you and your crew of 15, if you can convince your crew of 15 loyal Orion...
They're not Orion.
What are they?
They're from every walk of life.
Just like the Federation.
Very similar, except for my first officer.
It's fine. Who's a fellow Orion?
Gorn.
A Gorn? Really?
Koss is a Gorn, yeah.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
If you and your crew would be willing to defect to Starfleet and work with us, a peacekeeping and scientific exploratory armada. You know what Starfleet is.
Yeah, I know what Starfleet is.
And you know what we can do. We can protect you.
I do. I know that.
If you're willing to do this now, and you're willing to prove to me that we can trust you in the way that you can trust us, I will be able to protect you now. Versus, if you want to go back to your ship, back to your crew, back to dealing with other Orion Crime Syndicate members, dealing with looking over your shoulder, avoiding Malgog for however long you can until he finally becomes too powerful and catches up to you, captures your crew again, kills them because they were able to escape with the help of Starfleet. If you can do this now for me, if you can consider you and your crew, who aren't even all Orion, to come to our side, then I can help. But if you can't do that, if you're that set on returning back to your lifestyle, then I'm not going to be able to help you out, like I said.
This is the thing about the Federation. You're all so convinced that your lifestyle is so much better than everyone else's. I get what you're saying, Captain. I do. And I want you to know I appreciate the hell out of the fact that you're making the offer. I'm not trying to mock you for making it or anything.
No offense taken.
But maybe I've misled you a little bit.
Maybe you have.
Look at me. Do I look like a man who lives with regret?
Not even a man who lives with a shirt.
Do I look like a man who wants to give up the life he's leading?
No, you look
and I'll tell you this right now, Captain. There's no way my crew is going to be interested in taking that offer. But I will tell you this. I have every intention of taking Malgog down. I have every intention of dropping him. And I don't see any reason why I couldn't be a resource.
I get what you're saying. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. I get what you're saying. Zazrit, I tried to help you out. I did, you know.
You helped me out to get my ship back.
I understand.
And yeah, I get that it sits wrong with you, that you know I'm about to go off and do things that's distasteful. I won't do it in Federation space if that makes you feel any better. That's the way I prefer it.
It's a little bit better. But I'm going to say this. When we get our information, when we get that info dump, if there's any proof that you or your crew did anything in Federation space, I can't help you.
That's fair. That's totally fair.
All right.
And then you hear, just then, you hear, Bridge to Martinez.
Martinez here.
You have arrived at the destination.
We're here, Captain.
All right. Zazrit, I think a spare room opened up. I can escort you to it right now.
Thank you.
It's got a shower. It's got a change of clothes in case you wanted to freshen up or...
You know, it looks great, but he pulls the leather and he's like, it sticks after a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks like it sticks. It looks like you're wearing nothing at all. Nothing at all. All right, let's head back up to the bridge.
You do have to ask yourself sometimes, as he starts walking towards the door with you guys, like, I mean, why would I cover this up?
Where is the law?
I could think of several reasons.
Hit him with it, Kalan. Hit him with it. Go.
And I'm sure they're very exciting coming from a Vulcan.
Not exciting, practical, right?
Practicality. Very exciting.
Logical.
Thank you.
Did not see that coming.
Yeah, I've actually always been curious about the sort of Orion wardrobe. What is the practicality of exposed nipples? Like in battle? Like what is that?
We typically fight enemies that kill you no matter what you're wearing.
Right, but no armor? I mean, no...
That's in the thing with the Klingons, I get that, but not really, no. I mean, you really want to know why a lot of Orion men don't wear a lot of clothes?
Sure, yeah.
Because we're not allowed to. Or we're told we can't.
Mm-hmm.
So you've taken it on as your own expression of your body and of your presence.
Something like that.
I can understand that.
Sure. Yeah, I guess I get that too.
But I also can tell you that you must be cold sometimes.
Well, obviously he's cold.
It gets cold sometimes.
That is one of
Evidently,
the
he's
several
cold.
reasons.
Very cold.
I think we can all see whether or not.
You could cut glass with those things. Jesus.
Got any glass?
No. I'm gonna poke an eye out.
Sir?
Sir, your comm channel is open.
Was that shipwide?
Ship
The whole bridge
people
is just
people in
looking.
the galley are just like slowly pulling their lips away from the glass, looking.
Everybody could just,
There's
everybody, as you were, and don't.
the Ox crew doesn't know if they should write fan fiction right now or.
You should definitely write fan fiction.
I haven't already.
Fan art of this guy. That's all I'm saying.
Continue not using the transporters and as you were crew. Martinez out.
You guys make your way up to the bridge, and when you arrive there, the view screen opens up, and you just see the black expanse of space with the starfield in front of you. But as you take your station to Lon, it's not difficult to pick up the very trace elements of an ion trail, probably from a warp engine, leading off in the direction of the Federation neutral zone. And we have to stop there for the night.
We don't have to.
We do have to.
Why?
It is 12:38.
Is that
after us there? There's no
What
show,
show
on
is
after
on?
us.
It is for sure the inside of my eyelids show.
Yeah, told you it was gonna be a two-parter. I knew right away when you guys started talking to Zazrit. I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a two-parter.
Does that mean we
get
have
sandwich.
to wait another week?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I am going off into the desert to be a hippie for
the next
a week.
2 weeks, or just 1 week?
2 weeks.
2
So
weeks.
yeah, no. Next Wednesday is going to be Sax running Lasers and Feelings, and then after that I'm back.
Oh, okay.
So we'll be yeah. So it'll be a week. It'll be one full week between now and the next Star Trek game. So next Wednesday no game. Wednesday after game.
Yeah,
2 weeks.
But we are going to be here playing a game next Wednesday,
Yes,
right?
you will all be here playing Lasers and Feelings next Wednesday.
All right.
Next week, and we
Yeah.
will not see Eric next week.
Yes, correct. Everybody got that?
Yes.
It's a Spaceballs reference if you didn't catch. Anyway.
Oh.
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and let our tired crew go home and call it a night. And yes, we're going to go home and we should be going to bed, but we're probably going to read our gorgeous new Star Trek books. Thank you, Modifius. Congratulations again to our winners. I hope to see you all here. I'll be back and the week after next. And until then, thank you everybody for tuning in for another episode of Shields Tomorrow. Tune in next time. Hailing frequencies closed.
Thanks for tuning in to Shield of Tomorrow. If you enjoyed this, be sure to like and subscribe for more videos. We'll be here every week with the ongoing adventures of the USS Sally Ride. New episodes air on Geek and Sundry Twitch and Alpha every Friday from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you'd like to see more, you can start your free 30-day trial on projectalpha.com.